Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about a couple things in AQ3D with the recent updates, and not about the updates specifically because I'm really glad that these katanas are now in the game, but it revolves around the way it was implemented and how to, obtain it. And with me I have Helimot,
Hi.
who
If you
is
thought I wasn't raising enough hell on my channel, I'm doing on Mike's channel now.
yeah. So I just
It
want to
is what it is.
yeah, and let me just say that the reason we are doing this is because we've been in discussions on the official AE Discord, we've been on Twitter, we've been in DMs talking about this for the past 2 days, and it honestly seems like Artix Entertainment or their staff or their liaisons do not understand why it is we are so upset. And the first thing they are quick to jump onto is saying, yo, this is how MMO progression works. And it's expected. Like, if we don't know how MMO progression works, they think that we just want to be stuck like this forever. And that is what tilts me. You're telling your player base that, you're telling your experienced players that they don't know how MMORPGs work. When you try to explain things like this to them, and when you fail to see the reason why we are upset that this sword is now in game and that this sword is better than the sword we grinded 25 days for. And hopefully by the end of this discussion, you will understand why so many people are upset. So anything you want to say, Helly? I just want to check real quick on that Twitter poll that I was doing. See how well that's doing on Twitter.
It really is a bummer. I don't even own the Sun Fury scythe because I'm not spending 25 days for that. Yeah. But even I'm on like the fence about it. Like I do not like how we powered up here because I feel like the people who farm the Sun Fury scythe deserve a little credit. That's 25 days of grinding. And me, who just spent 4 hours of grinding yesterday, now has something better than them.
Exactly. All right,
And I
so
put in 100th of the effort.
let me see if I can do this. Uh, Video capture. No, window capture. There we go.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back, Mads. All right, so
I've heard Helly speak about the Sun Fury Scythe and the weapon. And yeah, that kind of got me agitated a bit as well.
yeah, no, I'm not, and upset that weapon I grinded for is useless, right? But we get into that
Yeah.
later. So this is what a current Twitter poll that I ran currently states, and this is after they buffed the rates, right? So I asked, do you think the RNG grind for the new katana is a bit too ridiculous, right? And we have 57.3% of people saying yes, and 42.7% of people saying no. And of course, I posted this poll after the RNG was buffed, right? So
Yeah.
this represents the people that still think that is a bit ridiculous. And we did have some feedback saying, yo, at least it's not as bad as the axes that came before it, which means, maybe they're learning. But still, why is it that, exactly as Helimod said, why why is the first weapon that we get that is better than the Sun Fury Scythe uh, a 4 hour grind? Or
Not
not?
only
Oh,
that,
it's a lot easier now. It's not 4 hours anymore. This was before he buffed it last night.
Ah,
he I farmed the thing for like 9 hours in total.
and you were silver
For the
hopping and stuff.
Yeah. I was server hopping and I was like moving from server to server with my guild. I farmed for a total of 9 hours. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of upset because like for the 8 hours that I've been farming, I've got 3 ores. I've seen people with 0 ores that have farmed with me for 8 hours. Keep that in mind. And then as soon, yeah, I saw Juliet as well. As soon as they update the thing, all of my friends who had 0, who farmed for like 2 hours, 3 hours or so, and they were getting nothing, they finished before me, and I finished after them. So I farmed for a total of 9 hours. I wasted 9 hours. Keep that in mind for a sword like this. So I'm just kind of confused. I'm like, why should it take that long? I don't understand that. And
Yeah,
even the
Well, that's
X,
the thing. It's RNG. It takes as
I
long as you want it.
and
look. I stopped farming the axe completely because I thought that axe was useless. I didn't like the way it looks, honestly.
same.
So I didn't farm for that at all. I only finished the quests, and that's about it.
And look, you have people saying they farmed for 8+ hours and got 0 ores. And Clarion says that yo, he buffed it. So I asked on the Discord, hey, could you communicate this in an official post right on the AQ3 website? And Clarion said that he doesn't have access to the design notes post. So I'm like, yo, well, can you push it towards the people that do have access to it? And nothing. Because if a buff rate has been increased, we deserve to know. Because there are going to be a lot of people that farmed it for 8 hours, like Nate in the chat yesterday, and they're just like, alright, no, I'm just not going to bother with that because the RNG is too dumb, and they're going to probably bring a weapon that's better at some point, so why farm it now? Let me just wait, and they're not going to pay, they're not going to play the update. Because it
Yeah,
was introduced with a broken RNG. I mean, do they not test these things before they release it to live?
I don't know. Okay, hold up.
Sorry.
Whose idea was it to go full RNG? Well, I mean, I guess we all know, but like doing full RNG on things is never fun unless it's cosmetic. Right? I've never had a case in any of the games I play where no matter how hard the end game is, the RNG aspect is the entire process of getting it. There's always some guaranteed way to get it, to get said items.
Exactly.
Right? Everyone should have to farm roughly the same amount of time. And that was not the case with this. This is completely if you're lucky.
Yeah. And their justification for it is, yo, if you farm the Sun Fury site, we're sorry, the game's progression needs to go on. We can't not release items because we're worried about hurting people that farm the level 35 gear. It is not about just hurting people that farm the level 35 gear. You're not just telling us that our time was worthless. You're telling us our time was worthless because this is not even story content. This is not endgame content. This is just a precursor to how they're going to be testing things for the future releases.
Okay. My take on this is I agree on them moving on, but the way they moved on was wrong in the first place. And look, I don't own a company or anything, so I can't really like make these points, but I think everyone knows that a side story or like a side quest shouldn't have as much relevance as the main story, which is Sansi, right? Which is Sun Fury. Like we get Sun Fury from Sansi, which makes sense. You know, it's the last bit of story that was released, and it gives the most powerful weapon up till now. And then for them to release a weapon on par with that on a side story, which takes like 4 hours instead of 25 days, it just feels bad. And also, not only that, like the axes before this, if they meant for the sword to have these stats, why didn't they give the axes the same amount of stats? Because that was released after, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make any sense. They should have given the sword the same stats as the axe. And keep in
Exactly.
mind, bear in mind, the axe is harder to farm than this. I've yet to get the axes, by the way.
Yeah, so
So
why go for the
it's
axes when there's this?
dumb. It's literally dumb.
And that is
If they would
exactly
have
my
had,
point.
oh sorry.
Now go ahead,
Like,
Ali.
hold on. here you can solo the aliens, but you cannot actually solo the boss. Like it'll take you more time soloing the bosses for like the axes, which is I don't know. It makes me wheeze. Honestly, it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone brought up the point that the some Fury sites have been best in slot for a very long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to disagree because the axes, yes, they have been best in slot, but for what content? What content has come out between then and now where the axes are actually
You mean the
useful?
scythe?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the scythe. Like, it's all been filler or scaled.
Ah,
So, what content that has come out have the axes benefit, or the scythe benefit the player? Like, there hasn't been one because there hasn't been story content for 8 months.
I'm really, really glad you brought that point up, Ellie. So now we can now we can visit my graph. So all of this information is available on the AQ3D website via news posts, right? The only thing I did was add my own, well, not even my own, but because I played through it, I added the general perception by the community from what I've seen on my Discord in game, on other Discords, and on Twitter, right? So let's take a look at it if I can find it.
We spit in facts today.
Yeah. No, see, that's the thing. I don't believe in emotional arguments. I believe in being objective. And if I'm wrong, I'm 100% open to being wrong. But show me where I am wrong. So if we look at this, and I'll just pull it to the side real quick so you can see the dates on this. I cataloged every update aside from just cosmetic or patches or things that didn't add anything to the game, like other than pure shops with no quest line and stuff, right? So I might have skipped a few that were just, like May the 4th and Carnival and Hot, well, Hot Day. Yeah, I think no, that's the shop. But yeah, the things that were just strictly shops. So I skipped those. So we,
I like I like how everything
yeah,
most of the stuff there is like good, but like
yeah. So let's go
people are
through. We had
complaining. People are always
no,
complaining. It's
no. You'll see, Mads. You'll see soon. So
okay.
we have an entirety of 21 updates that added content to the game that gave us something to do since the 1st of January. We had Winnie's update, was good. We had Nights to Remember, and that was good. The new emotes didn't add things to do per se, but they added emotes which are things to click, right? So I consider that a filler update, and it was generally accepted to be a good update by the majority of the community. And then you had the Moistverse that rolled around. Moistverse was not that great. I had fun playing it. It was mixed. And the Moistverse was a grind, but it was a grind because it was RNG. If there was no RNG involved, it would not have been a grind. Then we move on to the Porcelain Tiger. That was a very solid update. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that type of quest line. Majority of players enjoyed that kind of quest line. It was the first that we saw, and that was a good quest line. Then we had the Warlick's Magic Potions filler update because again, stuff to click, nothing to really do. Then you have Heroes Hot Day shop. That was mixed because some people liked it, some people didn't like it. And then we roll around to February, the end of February. We had the Westmere Saga. It's arguably one of the best updates that we've gotten so far for the year. And that was a very, very solid update, a very good update. So I hoped that the updates that we got following that would have followed a similar pattern. But we were proven wrong shortly after because we got the DH's birthday, the shop was good, but then you had the Legion Stalker, which was bad. It was RNG within RNG, and it was just terrible. But everybody complained about that. They complained about the drop rate. They complained about because you had to get the Legion Stalker to spawn first of all, so that was the first set of RNG, and then you had a chance of getting the drop from Legion Stalker. So it was embedded RNG, RNG within RNG. Then we had Lucky Day. That was a grinding update. It was good. and then the fidget spinner, which was added on to the Legion Stalker stuff in the same area. And you'd think that they would have learned from the feedback they got there, but it was such an RNG grind, but it was worth it because you got class XP out of the bosses and it wasn't as bad, right? So that was a mixed update. And then we had the Siege of Souls, which it was good for a lot of people, a lot of PC players, but it left behind a lot of the mobile player base because of all of the optimization issues, which is why it was generally classified as a bad update. Right? And if anybody in chat feels differently, I am open to discuss that. Mads, if you feel differently, we can talk about that too. Halimod isn't allowed to have opinion on this.
Not really, because that's when the game had their downfall, really. So
Yeah. And then
there's no defending.
we had April Fools. That was a fun quest line. That was with the chicken cow. And then we had Grenwog, even though I didn't participate in it because I didn't really like it. I didn't grind it that much because I can't remember why. It was good. It was a good update. Then Earth Day rolled around, and even though that was a grinding update, the way it was done was bad. And people did not appreciate the cosmetics, and then you had to wait 24 hours after crafting it to be able to obtain it with no way to speed that up, which added insult to injury. But moving right along to where the trend just takes a turn, and the bad update started around the 30th of March, right? We are now in June, so that's about 3 months. The fire and ice axes, that was RNG. That was a terrible update. Mad said you said yourself you don't have those axes yet.
Yeah, I don't. I don't like them as well.
All right. And then we have the Dalek part 1 and part 2. I should have probably started with this because this is the graph that shows you, but I just wanted to show the words, all right? So I plotted a graph and you can see as it goes along, good update, bad update, good update, bad update, And then we just tanked. We just
Look,
tanked and we never went back up.
I'll have to say part 1 for Darlik was actually good. Then they ruined it by adding part 2.
Yeah. So we have it as mixed because some people didn't appreciate it, but I consider it a good update. But I'm not going off of solely my feedback here. And then you're right, Dalek Part 2 was bad, Skull Punch Island was mixed, and then Cosmic Cutter. That's why Cosmic Cutter is why we're here today. And if you look at this feedback chart, and then you look at because this tapers off at the end, like beginning or mid April, right? If you look at from Steam charts, we peaked in January and we went down, and then April was what? We've just been teetering along that. But not many people judge off of Steam charts. And then if we look at, categorically how these updates were, so the types of updates we got for quarter 1 and quarter 2, if we classified them, we got 9 grinding updates, right? Yeah, if only those were approval ratings instead of the good mixed bad spread. Yeah, I really wish I had that kind of information. I really, really, really wished I started running polls earlier, but it's too late for that now. So we had 9 grinding updates, we had 2 filler updates, we had 7 RNG updates, 2 shop updates, and 1 PvP update, And by and large, the RNG updates have been the ones that have been considered terrible. And the RNG updates are the ones that we seem to be getting with increased frequency. So it begs the question, why? Alright, I'm done with my little presentation rant now. If anybody wants to say anything before I go on my rant, because I could rant for hours.
Look. Okay, open that chart again, please, on stream, so I can kind of explain my point.
Which
in a
one?
bit.
The types of updates?
No. The one with the grinding RNG and then shops and filler. It shows yeah, that one. The types of updates, yeah. Okay. So if you look at that, if you take a look at that, Okay, first off, people were Okay, I gotta say this. Don't take it the bad way, but people were complaining that PvP was getting more updates than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
What does that chart show?
That
It shows
PvP only got.
otherwise. It
Yeah,
shows otherwise.
that's fair.
Like, okay, in this type of updates, I don't think you've added the what is it? The class changes.
No, no, I didn't
Or
add things that didn't give
but
us
those
things
are
to do.
important.
Yeah, they are
Those are
important.
those are important to people, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. But what would you
And
classify those as, Mads?
if I would classify those just classes in general, because like it does affect PvE. I mean, Dragon Slayer, its change does it affect PvE?
So would
There's
you call
a
them quality of
armor
life
break.
changes?
I guess so.
If I had to redo this graph?
I guess so. I mean, yeah, why not?
All right. So that's fair.
And even like when they removed the Swiftcast, you can add that as a PvP update, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's not much of an update, really. It's just like,
Nah, that was within a quality of life update, I think.
I guess so. I mean, why not? So like most people complained that it was focused heavily on PvP. Well, that what does this show? It shows otherwise.
It
This
shows
is reality. You have to look at it in this way. So
it shows that they're focused on RNG because to me, it seems that RNG is the only way that they can get people to play consistently for a long period of time. I don't know. That's the only thing that I can think about that as the reason that they are moving towards RNG, even though everybody just keeps complaining about it.
that
In
and
my opinion, oh sorry.
yeah, go ahead. No, sorry. It's okay.
In my opinion, it feels like when did everything explode on that? May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, around that. Yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
but it wasn't just like that would have pushed people over the edge as much as it did. It was this slow decline of quality.
That is
And I don't know what happened, really. I think there
All
was
right.
no clear objective with the story, and then they tunnel vision on PvP, despite it not taking many resources. And I'm not saying that's bad. And then from there, after people, were very vocal about not wanting PvP, they focused on other RNG stuff. Or I don't know, man. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
okay. It was already okay. Let's say it like this: it was already bad. People were starting to lose hope. Then, with people starting to lose hope because they wished they would see like a PVE update, which most people wanted the storyline to like progress, I guess, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you look at the replies that what was it the poll that the Artix did, or not the poll, the Google Documents thing that he put up that showed like the that if people wanted the story or like the classes and all of that, most people voted for Nulgath or like story progression, right? And then second came new classes. I mean, if they have a clear idea of what people want, they just didn't work on that. And that's why when it was already declining and falling down, most people started to lose hope and they didn't focus on that, so that made it even worse. So that's why there was like I guess like an outbreak pretty much.
Uh,
It feels like an outbreak, honestly. Like most people are just like fed up with it.
it's not just that, Mads. What month are we in? We're in June. We're in June now, right? 16th of June. I want to show you something, and I'm really glad Helimod sent this to me. So, mad props to Helimod for sending this.
Let's see it.
Oh, this is yeah. Do you see this?
I'm watching your stream. Well, it's delayed, so
Right,
watch.
fiending for the Alpha Pirate. It is available in AQ3D, right? This is when Talk Like a Pirate Day came out last year,
Yeah.
and he said it gives a pretty big clue as to the theme of our next saga. And what does this do? This was 24th of September. Now, I'm not reaching for the bottom of the barrel, as some people might say. But that started to tease us for the next saga. This was before Scorpion was done, right?
It's like it's probably like a month and a week, and then it's been a year. It's literally been a year.
They've had that carrot dangled in front of us for 8 months, almost 9 months now.
No, it's
And if Helimod didn't point that out to me, I would not have
that's no,
realized.
it's like 11. It's like 10 months, and 10 months and a week by now. Yeah, 10 months and a week. If you want to, if you want to go into statistics and calculate perfectly, 10 months and a week.
Jeez.
Yep. And they didn't start on it until about April.
Why?
I couldn't tell you.
So they need to understand where the frustration comes from. And like I said in the last video, the issues are not they do not exist in a vacuum. You can't just say, yo, your players are angry because you fixed an exploit, or yo, your players are angry because they don't understand how MMO progression works. I understand how it works. Helimod understands how it works. Mads understands how it works. But we're upset. And you're not listening to why we're upset. So, and it's not just us. A lot of people have been voicing their opinions, which is why we are the ones that are speaking up about it. And somebody made a point earlier today that is very, very true. You know, it hits home. What they did with this weapon is effectively kill. They killed the entirety of Sansi. The entirety of Sansi, something that they worked on for near a year. They put development resources into for over almost a year. It is now irrelevant. There's no reason for anybody to play that. And the reason being, when you're leveling up to 35, you have to go through everything in Arkengrove, you have to go through everything in all of the areas. You don't have to go through everything in Sansi. You don't have to do the raid. Right? You just have to do
right now. I have the best example for you right now.
Mhm.
I have a guildmate, okay? He has an alt account. He leveled up that alt account to level 36 only through the Caldera dungeon. Okay? So keep that in mind. He leveled up to level 36 through the Caldera dungeon.
Bruh.
He finished up the story until Doomwood. He didn't finish the other stories, keep in mind. Now with this update out, he doesn't even need to finish Sensi.
What are the odds they're gonna lock Nulgath behind a power level?
Now,
Zero, right?
now,
Zero,
now,
right.
now that you're mentioning this, this is my next point. Now that you're mentioning this, I feel like they're actually gonna do that. I'm not even joking with you.
If they do that, this.
Are you telling me I could level all of my alt up right now?
Moist
Yeah.
first.
Well,
KLP.
hey, listen, guys. If you want to level up your alt accounts, here's the cheat code. Do Caldera, like farm for the guitar or something, and keep doing that until you're level 36. One of my guildies did it, and he finished up the story until like Doomwood. You don't even need to do anything.
Watch them
Like
nerf it.
that's how stupid these two recent updates are. Like and Caldera is scaled. Keep that in mind. You're not gonna die quick.
No.
Caldera is scaled. That's how stupid.
I wouldn't go so far as to call things stupid.
It's stupid. It's legitimately stupid. Like I was like, how did you get to level 36? He was like, I just did Caldera dungeon. I'm like, dude. After
I mean, we did have a good XP boost.
Nah, he didn't level that up through the XP boost. He just did it way before.
Jeez. And I mean, that's a prime example of a no lifer. But what I'm also saying, a point I've been making for a long time is that please don't base your decisions off of people like me and people like Mads and people like the other people on the AE Discord, like Impure Death and all of these other guys. We are what you call no lifers, and we will put more effort into the game than your casual player will. And AQ3D is primarily made up of casual players. So when you're making decisions, don't make decisions that you think we will not be able to get through easily, like RNG grinds. Make decisions that your casual players will be able to accomplish. Because you said it yourself. I can't remember on which official source it was, but somebody said that the average play time for the average AQ3D player is around 3 hours a day. So,
That's a joke.
because people,
That's a joke.
anyway,
That's not 3 hours. It's even more. But I'm
That's
not
for
gonna.
like 30 seconds a day. What do you mean?
yeah,
Look, there's a huge difference. Like if you have Acer plays for 30 seconds. I play for around like six,
exactly.
7 hours. Because I don't play other games. Keep that in mind. That's a first.
Mhm.
I don't play other games. I just log into this game, casually just play PvP, whether with my team or not, doesn't really matter. Just hop in, do the new content. New content took me like 9 hours. I'm upset about that. Really, really mad
Yeah.
about it
So,
okay, because of this fact, they changed it afterwards.
mhm.
That's why I'm mad. I'm not mad
Yeah.
with the content itself. I like the sword.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
the things that I don't like is that they changed the RNG afterwards without even test. That shows that they haven't tested it before. That they haven't put effort into it from before, and they also effectively just like placed a 5 minute timer, which was kind of. I feel like they just predicted it, like, oh, like, yeah, let's just add 5 minute timer on this. It's not gonna take the players long. Like,
It took me 30
I,
minutes to finish that earlier.
I did it with
After they
The
server
whole
buff.
thing
hopping.
in 30 minutes.
I did it with server hop. Imagine the people that did it while standing in a room waiting for them to change the RNG.
Like me, I was on for almost
Oh, I
6 hours
definitely did it with
yesterday
server
farming,
hop.
and I was just like, nah.
No, the reason the RNG got changed is because there wasn't supposed to be a 5 minute timer. There was a miscommunication between the guy who made the quest and the map designers,
Look,
and the 5 minute timer was way too long. And then he said they'd probably change it next week. And then I was like, yo, I'm gonna have this done by Friday. And then he buffed it.
okay, hold on. Where's Dage? Uh, where is he tweeted something about a forgotten scythe or something like that, and that this never came out.
Yeah, somebody posted it under my post, and he was like,
You know what
"Wait, this never came out," and he just didn't know.
look, and this is what I typed. This is what I said to them. I was like, sometimes I really wonder how do you guys communicate with each other when it comes to releasing stuff out. Like, all it takes is just getting on Discord in a group, just making sure it's added. How hard can that be when it comes to releasing items? Dude, they are literally in the lab. They are literally working together in real life. They don't even need Discord.
They're face to face. But
How?
stuff like that stupid staff probably got overlooked. And then, of course, Dage probably wouldn't even notice because, I
I
mean,
used to
if
look.
he assumed it got put in after he did all the work on it, then
Look.
that's
I
about
don't
it.
blame Dage. I don't blame Dage. By all, he's just doing his side of the work.
Yeah,
But it's
Yeah.
those people who like are releasing stuff. Like, dude, I used to work in a restaurant. To get stuff on a daily basis, what do? We have like a board. We have like what we need to do, and we just check it off. That's all we do. Like, how can a small restaurant do that while a huge company can't even? I mean, a small indie company can't do that. It's like,
I don't know. I really don't know,
That's
man. And
too
Artix was
dumb.
in like when Artix came in game when like after I posted the Caldera video, how he posted his Caldera video. He was like, "Are you guys still upset?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we are upset because there has still not been any official communication." And what he said in general chat in game, and I have the screenshots, is that the guys who fixed the things didn't tell the guys in marketing who do the communication posts that they fixed the thing. They just fixed it. And I'm like, how is that okay? And what am I
That's
supposed to
what
do
you
with
mean.
that information? I don't know. Are we a joke to you? I, honestly, it feels like it sometimes. It feels like it with the way that they had no player feedback on any of this, as far as I am aware. At least they didn't have any
Oh,
feedback.
100%.
So they didn't consult any of the player base before they went forward with just making their Sansi area irrelevant, and just, yes, we wanted the katana, but we didn't want the katana in this way. And I don't mind, like,
With big
I-
cosmetic.
exactly. No, I'm glad it's not cosmetic, but
Now, do you understand why I didn't waste time on Sansi? I mean, I've been playing this game for 5 years, and just
Yeah,
looking
no.
at Sansi and how it ended up. I mean, I like the map, I like the story, it's beautiful, blah blah blah. But the stat progression and how things ended up with that, I was like, I am not wasting my time on any of this. Like, I'd rather waste my time farming some stupid cosmetics that take me 12 hours standing in a room doing
hey,
nothing
sir, we're
than
being polite.
focus on stats. Oh, sorry. I forgot
Yeah,
you were streaming.
I'll have to cut this out. Can somebody give me a timestamp?
No.
Ugh. I mean, I don't
But
blame.
yeah,
He's
sorry.
mad. Yeah, look, we want progression within the game. I don't mind that. Look, I would be insulting right now if lag wasn't like, I guess refraining us from using insult. I would be
No,
insulting
because look, the
the
way
hell
Like,
out
I
of
love all
AE
the work the
Entertainment.
devs
I
do
don't
and
like.
everything.
no, because you
I
have to
don't like.
you have to understand where I'm coming from with this. When you argue with people from a place of being angry, they are less likely to listen. So what I'm doing is I am presenting perspectives,
I
I am
mean,
presenting points in a way that is easy for them to understand in a non-aggressive manner, so that they will be more willing to take our feedback in a serious way if we are respectful about it. That is my thing about it.
I'm farming my ult from level 16 to 36. Like,
Yeah, because I mean, I off stream, yeah, I am really upset. I'm really tilted. I would swear from now till kingdom come, right? But when presenting it to them, we need to, understand that they're people, like you said, man, they're people too. So if I came to you and I was just really, really angry, and you didn't understand why I was angry, you would now feel that, all right, he's angry for no reason, and you would now in turn be angry to me, right? And then we would get nowhere. And the point of this discussion is so that they understand, so we can get somewhere, and that we never have a repeat of what happened this week. That is my hope of this entire thing, because Helly has spoken
well,
about it, like you've spoken about it, I'm speaking about it, and it's all over Twitter, so, and on Discord, and we're not just gonna drop it just like that. So that
I
is your
kind of like this week's release, even though it might not be shocking. But I like this little small, useless stuff that doesn't mean anything at all. I mean, actually, it does mean something. There's a
I
red buff in
understand,
the game,
Mads.
but
I understand. Okay. All right. I think I lost track of what I was saying before. What were you saying before, Mads?
look, I'm not looking for reasons to put them down or like just insult them, but like when someone does something wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time that happens. People make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's understandable, and they've made countless mistakes. I mean, I could start by calling them out one by one right now, but let's not get into that. That's for another stream. I'm not hating or anything. I'm not looking for reasons to fight people or anything. I want the game to progress. That's why I'm sticking, I guess, with the community for a while now. I'm playing the game. I'm enjoying the game. I'm not. I'm not really not enjoying it, but I'm mad because like, look, the stuff that you do to us, like by releasing this katana and like making our Sansi Sun Fury 25 daily look like a joke, it hurts honestly. Like I'm looking at my guild, I'm like, bro, I could have done that. I could have literally done that and like just finished the story and done nothing. Like why would I don't even need to do the raid. Hell, I don't even need to do the raid. I just farm XP and like collect what is it? The gear from this guy down here by Cicero, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't even need to do the gear. or I mean the raid. My bad. So like, it feels useless. It's like, hey, you grinded for this. It's like a limited power up. It won't affect you in the
Yeah.
future. It won't help you in the future.
And I know Halimon wants
See,
to speak about this in great detail, but before you guys get into it, let me just share my viewpoint on how progression works in other games, since they so want to claim that other games do this and make your items obsolete. I want you to name one game, one MMORPG worth its salt in today's industry that makes your 25-day grinded, item that you have to grind 25 days for absolutely useless unless it is for a story content update. Unless, and even then, it is not even then it is not made completely useless. There are games that give you the opportunity to use that same item to transfer it to an alt account, another character that you are leveling up so that the item still has worth, right? Make it character bound, but AQ3 doesn't have alt, so that is not available here, understandably. But other games give you the ability to shred it and turn it into fodder for infusing your next set of items, or it gives you some way to get something back out of that item, so it's not time that you essentially wasted.
Uh,
they've done this before, and they're
it,
probably
it,
gonna do it again.
No,
it's
Like
just
Asa, it has
the
to stop.
community,
Asa, it has to stop. You can't just
yeah.
say they've done it before, they'll do it again. They did it before and nobody
No,
spoke up about it the way we're doing it now.
like, but
no. The
here's
last
the thing.
time they had something like this happen, they released the Pink Pony shoes, the drop from the thing in Social District, and
Mm-hmm.
then they revoked the stats on it because everybody was complaining about the stats being the most OP shoes in the game, and the drop rate was so just low.
Okay,
And then they
okay.
were cosmetic.
I wasn't
Here's
around
the
for
So,
that.
here's the thing. When you're but the here's the problem. Here's the primary issue with this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you're a company and you're like, what do you normally like seek? Do you like seek player growth, like the player base growth, or would you seek player base satisfaction? Normally, when you're like a company, what would you do? If put yourself in the place of, let's say, Arctics, right? Or
I,
like the
I
devs,
would
I guess
I
you
would
would say.
100% seek player satisfaction before I look towards player growth. Because if I cannot keep my current players satisfied, no way in hell can I keep the players that come in
But
satisfied.
this is you're not talking in the position of AE. We are talking in the position of AE. Honest, I'm not defending them. Keep that
Mm-hmm.
in mind. I'm just saying this because
All right.
honestly,
Okay,
for the
no.
past month, if you look at it, I don't know if you guys have that bot or whatever, bot or whatever that counts the number of players
server.
on all servers and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been checking that on a regular basis, and I notice for the last month we've been having 800, 900, mostly 800 players, like in between that
Mm-hmm.
for the past month. Soon as they hit with this update with the mage skin, which a lot of people liked, I think, but they didn't like that they had to spend 3K on it. I get that. Still, it was a something that was needed, right?
Yeah.
So, and when they added that, I've been checking for the past few days, and honestly, like 1,061 players, 1,249 players. Keep in mind from 800 to
Mm-hmm.
like 1,200. That's a 400 player increase.
Yeah. But
1,013. It hasn't
mhm.
even dropped under 1,000 since then. So it shows
I
what
give it
people.
a few days.
I guess that gives them. Look, that gives them an idea, right? That
Mhm.
gives them an idea of what people want. I don't look. It's up to them if they wanna keep up the. I guess keep up the satisfaction, but up till now, most of these people I feel like came back for the maid skin. They didn't come back for the katana.
Nah, they came back with Mage Skin, 100%. They came back and now and that happens with every major update that people have been looking around for. it will increase and then it'll go back down. And
Yeah, it'll go back
but from
down,
an AA standpoint, if you're just looking at numbers and say like, yo, we pushed out, let's say, a RNG grind and the numbers went up, because this is how they probably look at it. All right, let's do that again and again and again, because the initial numbers do go up, and RNG keeps people around because I might get it, but you might not get it, and that you'll stay around until you get it, and I'll stay in game because I did get it, and I want to show you guys that, yo, I have this now, and just show it off and stuff like that. So I mean, from that perspective, I can understand, and it does work, but at what cost? At what
I think
cost?
it's funny.
No, I'm laughing at. I'm laughing at what's said in chat in here. That's what I'm laughing at. Sorry about that.
That's fine. And I know Helly has been itching to give his piece, so I'm gonna let him speak for a bit now.
Sorry, Hallie.
All right. You all made fun of me when I didn't want to grind capstones. And then you all made fun of me when I didn't want to grind the Sun Fury sites. Well, guess what? It's all wasted time. I didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. My thought process behind it. I know how frequent AE makes gear obsolete. I mean, Sansi gear lasted longer than what I expected, which wasn't really
Yep.
surprising since I wanted to hold on to it for so long. But it still was a pointless grind. That's why I'd rather do something like I've grinded every other testing stat thing at the beginning or whenever I started. But Sansi, I don't even. It doesn't even look that nice to me. It's not something I wear. I mean, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back and get it eventually, but I'm not gonna get it. Probably wait till I come for something.
So all this tells me is why play the game at the rate I was even playing. I'm not even playing as much as these guys, but why play the game?
Yeah.
Because like, oh, I'll just go get some basic gear because it'll last me the whole expansion or the whole story update. I don't need to farm in game. There's no reason. None of it
You
matters.
get a farm up medics, all of them. That's how you play this game.
We can't really hear you,
Yeah, yeah.
Issa. We can't. We could
Oh,
barely hear you.
you gotta farm everything in the game that they put out. That's how you play this game. All right, it's all cosmetic, but you gotta do it.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. You
All
gotta
I
right.
farm
can't do it. My bank is
But
almost full. I don't want to give them money.
all
You just
right.
gotta
So
no. You just gotta craft this stuff. You don't even have to pull it out.
no.
Just let it sit in your.
Wait,
All
I
right.
could buy it and delete it.
We're
That's what I
we're
usually do.
guys. We're getting away from the point here. We're getting away from the point here. So because I don't want this video to be 25 hours long. Right. Halimod, how do you respond to
Hi.
them saying that we don't understand how MMORPG, how progression in MMORPG works because we don't like this sword or the way that is obtained? How, what is your, how do you respond to that? Because they're
I'm gonna
calling
just go
us.
play better MMORPGs.
All right, no, that is
Like-
not what I meant.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I think that the progression in Sansi was terrible. We hit the cap early on, and then we didn't get any gear increases. Right? Since what? When did Crocus come out? That was the last gear increase
Mm-hmm.
between that and the raid. And so looking at it from that perspective, the raid comes out, brand new gear increases, and we haven't had an opportunity to ever use these gear increases. They just exist. Just like fabricated stats. But we worked hard for them because if you've grinded the raid at all, you know it takes a long time to get the raid gear,
Yeah.
especially some Fury sites. So you're gonna tell me that one of the few systems of progression that have existed in the game for the past close to a year gets replaced by a 4-hour stand still, attack a boss, wait for the boss to respawn, attack a boss farm in the matter of a single update. Not Nulgath related, by the way. There's no like hardly any good story behind it. It feels entirely invalid, and I think the weapon needs to get nerfed.
I wouldn't nerf something that so many people already grinded for. But I would definitely take note. And but Clarion has said on Twitter that future updates just like this, non-story, well, it is implied that they are not going to be story related, are going to bring weapons that are better than this. So it's just going to be adding insult to injury. And people like Fainal in the back there are saying to us that, yo, guys, your Sun Fury site has served its time. It's been out for so long. But how many people had it for so long? That is what I want to know. How many people were able to do the raid when the raid was relevant? And it essentially makes the raid irrelevant now. Nobody is going to farm it.
Yep.
What about all the people that just hit 751 that want to go there now? Nobody is going to be there doing it because there's no reason to do it until your Nulgath comes out, whenever it comes out. Don't you think it would have been better to let people continue to farm up and gear up using the content that you spent almost a year developing until you release story content that is worth gearing up for, worth swapping your gear out of? I don't know. Why do you think it's okay to just give us side content and make it obsolete with side content? I'm not upset that it's becoming obsolete. I am upset that it's becoming obsolete with content that does not matter in the long run. As are many
So
other
they're
people.
to replace this sword with a whole new set of stuff whenever they release the next story content, which is probably soon. They probably don't plan them.
And the reason where
It's not
I'm so
cool.
tilted about it is because they specifically responded to Helimod and I on Twitter and on Discord and stuff, which is why I decided to do this stream today because I wasn't supposed to stream today. I just, it's necessary. So I don't know. Are we wrong for feeling the way we feel, Helimod? Are we wrong for being tilted?
Wasting their time. That's what I'm
Okay.
doing.
Well, it depends if
Look.
you actually value the time you put into this game. And with every coming update, it feels like there's no reason to.
So basically, what they're saying is that they do not value our time,
Yes.
but they want us to play their game and support it.
Yes.
There you go.
So they made capstones irrelevant in an update, and they made Sansi gear irrelevant in an update.
They made the entirety of San C irrelevant in an update.
Yep.
It was gonna happen. People complained about this for a long time, all the time, because they would do this more frequently. But it didn't feel as bad because Tansy is the hardest, custom set they farm versus everything else in the past.
Comparatively, compared to the rest of the story content, San C arguably has the longest quest line out of all of the areas
And the most content.
and the most
Yes.
content. And now they just chuck in that. They're like, okay, now we don't need that anymore. We have enough content for you to play through, so don't worry with San C. It's all trash now.
It's all
See,
good.
if-
Don't
once
worry.
they've released the next set of items to replace Sanseed, they should knock Sanseed down a few levels to make it easier for the people who like the new players who just want the stuff to do cosmetic. It doesn't mean
Nah,
anything. So
I don't think they'll do that.
like
Have you seen Doomwood?
Yeah,
I don't think they'll do that.
but that's a mistake in general. They're gonna remake Doomwood eventually anyway.
Oh my god, and they're gonna take resources to. Oh my god.
I mean, they're gonna do that with every map. Ashfall might even get like a
Everything takes
remake
resources.
one day.
Yeah. I just want
wouldn't
things
be
to. I
shocked
just
if
want
they
Gonna
things.
already
be
started working.
listen.
Doomwood
That's gonna be the main excuse from now on. Everything takes resources.
Yeah.
No matter what you say, no matter whatever you just say, just it's gonna take resources. That's all they're gonna say after like you complain for like 20 hours or like on stream or whatever. No matter what you say, it's just gonna be like,
Yeah.
yeah, it takes a lot of resources. I'm like, if it takes a lot of resources, then what the hell have you been doing for the past year? Teasing Nulgath.
And it's only a matter of time before they start being nice to me about this. because it's gonna look bad eventually on their PR that, even though I say good things about it, I also say non-good things. So I'm just waiting for them to tell me, yo, stop making videos. I'm, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But I'm voicing valid concerns as far as I am 100. I believe that the concerns that I am voicing are valid. I believe all because they aren't my concerns. I don't When I raise these issues, they aren't just from me. They're from the community. And as a community liaison person, I believe Clarion should be engaging with people not just on Discord, but in game as well and on Twitter a little more than he has been. And I don't know why he doesn't have access to the design notes post, but I definitely think he should be pushing any changes they make towards the team that can include it in official design notes posts, because people who don't watch my videos, people who don't watch Helimod, people that don't watch Gold Raven or Mads or Miss Virus, they deserve to know what's going, or even Loki Monster, they deserve to know what's going on in the news. They deserve to know what changes have been made to the game.
That's one thing that I don't agree with. That you have to like look outside the game. I mean, official patch notes on their website's one thing, but the fact that like it nowhere in the game in like the news doesn't even say. I guess it does say about the procedure and stuff, but I don't know. It just seems a bit like the communication with the player base that has no connection to the game whatsoever. Like outside the game, like new players aren't gonna be
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna join Discord, I'm gonna
How many
follow, I'm
people
gonna
are
make
active on their
media.
Discord every day? Versus their active player base. How many people of their active player base are actually on their Discord to see what it is being said in their Discord? I don't know.
Like a lot of other MMOs, when they update the game, they have long text sheets in like a mailbox or something that just explains what just happened in the update. And that's the easy.
Exactly.
They could just type it out, put it in a gate, make a mailbox somewhere,
Like
insert
where's
something. Just
news? Like if it's here, like one of these boxes could just be like a box of text like this got fixed, adjusted damage to boss, or adjusted drop rate to whatever and blah blah blah. It's literally that easy, and people will be like, all right, cool, that happened. All right, let's move on, because at least it'll be communicated.
I just feel bad for them. People ask questions all the time, and I try to answer as best as I can if I'm like I know exactly what they're talking about. I mean, I stay pretty like kept up on the game. Even if I'm not playing, I'm still on social media, looking and everything and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is one thing that I don't understand why. Like people complain about their lack of communication. I mean, it's not an easy thing for them to fix, but they say they take, you know, kind of fix like I don't even know how to explain it. Like ideas from other games. Like I said, they do this like a lot of game companies do that and have it well thought out. It's it's there. It's on the internet.
Yeah, I think we need to get Asa a better mic. Chat, get Asa a
It's
better
close to my
mic.
phone. It's kind of far away from my face right now.
Yeah. Uh,
Cause
uh, I don't know. Like, I think we've spoken about most of the things I wanted to say about the katana and why we're upset that this is how it is. Helimod, anything else you want to say? Mads, anything else you want to say?
Not really.
The closest we were to all of this, to getting the proper communication we want, to having a fun time, was when we had community managers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the devs try their best, but it's very obvious that their communication is not working. If we could get like Alina's pretty good at communicating things.
Yeah,
Um,
she
no, it's just
has
like
been.
how far do you have to reach before someone will grab your hand? Like, Come on, I know it's my hand, but it's not that bad. I washed it.
Yeah. Nah, they definitely, and the thing is, if they didn't say they were gonna make an effort to be better at communication, I wouldn't have so much of an issue, in all honesty, because I'd be like, show me where this was said. But they did, on multiple occasions, say they're going to be better at communication. So, unless that was a lie, I don't even know anymore. I don't know.
I think they just don't know how to communicate. You know what I mean? They think like the way they are doing it right now works because the player base is vocal and follows them on the internet, like social media and Discord
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. They make it seem that like, oh, we know everything that you guys do. Like we're commenting on the game plan and all this stuff. But like, think about the probably 700 players on the game right now don't know anything about social media, which like R6 Entertainment social media. Like, what
Exactly.
information is reaching them? And
I,
then they
I,
quit in like 2 weeks, and then new people come in.
yeah. If you want your game to grow, this communication is one of the best ways to do it, right? Because nobody will promote your game better for you than players that are enjoying the game. If your players aren't enjoying the game and they don't know what you're communicating, nobody will be aware of what you're going to have. And a clear example is the miscommunication that goes on so many Discord servers and so many Facebook groups because people are just left to guess that they just don't care about communicating to us. And I've seen a couple posts where I have to say, no, this is not the issue. They're just really really busy, and this is what is happening, because people still think that the game plan is accurate. They still think that uh, the only thing they should be looking at is the AQ3D.com website for news posts, and that is where they will get their information from. Which is why I keep driving it home, because you guys don't see what I see. You guys aren't on the groups that I'm on. I mean, Asa, you might be on one or two, but it's not just about us, it's about everybody else. Because at the end of the game, we don't at the end of the day, sorry, we don't want an empty game. We want a game filled with people, a game that is flourishing, a game where we can just come home and have fun and not have all of these issues. I don't want to be here talking about all of these things. I don't want to have all of these issues to continuously be uh relaying, because I've become the voice of the community or whatever, right? And it's just, why is all of this happening after they've committed to doing certain things and then just not doing it? Why has Nulgath been teased for 10 months? Why have they not spoken to the player base about how we wish to see things progress? So many questions. And don't even get me started on the Curse Weaver, because it's not that it was a bad update. It was a very, like, the update was good, and that's why I said I was torn about it, because I'm really happy that the katana is in game. I am personally really happy. A lot of people have been waiting on this katana since it was teased 6 months ago to be in game, because it's a very, look at it. Just look. It is a beautiful weapon. It's very well designed. But the issue that we had is the implementation of how to obtain it, and the fact that it now makes the Sansi irrelevant. All right, I think I said that too many times. I'm done now.
Well, you're gonna have to say another 100 before it gets changed.
It should not
So
have.
another
Sorry.
thing about the katana that concerns me is like, so the axes that came out a few weeks ago that are in the same kind of crafting system and quest system, those were not statted, and those had nothing to do like
No, they
They
were.
are.
they would have
Yeah,
just been the
they are
same.
started, Acer.
Oh,
They
they are.
are.
Oh well,
Look, they are. They are. They're harder to obtain, but the katana has it has better stat. That's why I was like, bro, what? How does this make sense? Okay, let's look at
oh
it.
see
How
it.
it's level 32. Like they should have made the katana level 32 as well. Why did they make it level 36?
I'm happy we have
Yeah.
options, don't get me wrong. But why the options gotta be implemented in one of the worst possible ways imaginable?
No.
Hey,
And they think it's
what
good.
would it? You
Look,
know,
the access take a long time to
Oh,
farm.
Halimud, could you delete that message in chat, please?
Look,
You
the
don't
access
want free followers?
Make me
Oh,
a
Please
how
no
do I
swearing.
delete
Please no
message?
swearing in my chat.
Okay, but the thing is,
How do I
look,
delete messages? I don't know how to delete them.
Bruh, you're a
dude,
mod.
you're
You have a sword, sir. You click
But
it.
I could time them out.
Delete.
That'll delete it.
Oh, you can do that too. Works.
Yeah.
And look, my point is, I'm like, the axes are way harder to farm. It takes you a long time to farm those. Getting the ores is just annoying. And then you have
All right, can you
little.
just ban that account, Telly? Because they seem. I'll unban them after stream, but I am not tolerating that in my
Wait,
chat.
you're going in. Anyways, but what I'm trying to say is like the axes take like a long time to farm. Then you have the katana that just came out, which Acer logged in for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's all it takes to finish Sansi progression. That's all it takes to get a cool weapon. That's all it takes to like just overall be overpowered in general. I guess I don't understand that. I don't know. They should have done. They should have made it to where like it's the same
Yeah,
as the axes. Honestly, like they should have been level 30. That like if any dev is actually watching right now, Artix, if you're watching, like please change that to level 32. So like alt account. Dude, I've seen like countless alt accounts with the stats of that katana
no,
right
but
there farming.
Mads, that is how MMO progression works. That's how MMORPGs work. Don't you
I'm not
know?
here. Look, I'm not here to complain with Clarion. I like the guy, but I mean, when you look at it as a team progression type of thing, it's probably is not his idea, I'd say, because he's the guy that deals with the quests, from what I've heard. So probably isn't his idea, probably someone else's idea, but as a team, they have to stick to each other. So I wouldn't say Clarion is wrong in what he said. He just said it to just kind of
Oh,
protect
the
his.
Clarion is now here. Nice.
Oh, perfect. Well, then you can talk to him on person and just like, tell him, sir, please change this to level 32 or something like that, and work it all
Hey,
out.
I think they should leave it level 36, but
Excuse
they
me.
should
Hold up.
alter the stats. They should alter the stats and make it a haste build weapon. I mean, haste means nothing, but
Haste means
the
nothing unless you
alternate
have good
build.
MS.
What? Hold on. If you have good MS, if you're little Jimmy with 3 MS, dude, if you use Berserker, oh my lord, you're just gonna
Yeah,
be
but
like so
they
fast.
could nerf the attack on it to be like level 32 weapons attacks. Like
No, it's
really,
not
just
supposed
Clarion
really
to.
said it
take
is
that.
a haste. He says it is a haste based item. That was just an
Look,
example.
it's not supposed to surpass. Look, it's not supposed to surpass. The general idea is it's not supposed to surpass the Sunfear weapons. Those are legendary. This weapon right here is an epic item. Like it's not supposed to surpass it at all.
Yeah, do the colors not
That's
mean anything? Do legendary, epic, and all of that
yeah.
not
Like
mean
No,
anything anymore?
No,
okay,
it means
Helima, chill.
nothing.
God
they
damn.
never meant
They,
anything. You guys are
He
crazy.
was
I don't
yeah.
know.
none of that
Helima
means
was
anything.
waiting
What do
for
you
this
mean?
moment.
I don't know. It's like
So,
Okay, but like 25 days, 4 days, come on, man. I mean, for 4
4
okay.
hours, not
hours,
even
yeah.
30 minutes, 30 minutes. Let's use Acer as an example. 25 days and 30 minutes. Like, really? You really think you can farm for 30 minutes and beat a 25-day grind? Really?
Hey, I
Like
played
that
for
should
like
have that shouldn't have been an option at all. Like I would make okay, I'll make a let's say someone gets banned. He makes a new account, hops on in the game, farms for like a week or so, gets to level 36. It's not hard, so gets to level 36,
Hmm.
does the katana for 30 minutes, is done with it, then okay, he's back where he was. So
If you guys have questions about everything with the release, I'd be happy to talk about the whys and hows. That's what we've been doing here for so long on stream. This is what we've been
it's
doing for the past, how long has it been? An hour and a half? Because it appears that like even on the AE Discord and on Twitter, you guys do not understand why it is we're upset. You think that we don't know how MMO progression works, and that is not the case. That is not why we're upset about it. So to summarize why we are upset about the way it was implemented and the fact that it is a side quest that takes 4 hours or less to complete, and it makes a 25-day grind obsolete. It makes the entire Sansi area obsolete.
Yep.
That
You
is
could
what
just skip it, go to Nulgath, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but okay. So, like, all they need to do right now is probably just change the stats on the katana. If they say that requires resource, I swear to God, I'll quit the game.
and
No, they're
I'm
just gonna do
ready.
what they did with
Okay,
the pony shoes and nerf them
I'm
to
ready to
oblivion.
if I heard that reply again, I swear to God, I'm ready to quit the game because like it's been given to us a lot of times, and it feels like they're ignorant. To be honest
no,
with you,
it's at the
like
point. No, sorry, go
look,
ahead.
but for a whole year, like you said, for Nulgath. Okay, if you didn't have the resources, then okay, sure. But then a whole year? Come on, man. You take a whole year to release a story that you've been teasing since last year? Come on. It's gonna be a year. Watch, it's gonna be a whole year, and then they're not gonna release it by then. It's probably gonna take like
I hope
another
you're wrong.
year,
I
like
hope
six
you're
more
wrong.
months.
Nah, I hope
Yeah,
you're
you
wrong.
think I'm wrong?
I
You
am
think I'm
hoping.
wrong?
I
Okay.
am hoping
Oh,
you're wrong.
you hope I'm wrong? Okay, yeah.
Yes,
Keep
Oh,
hoping.
hope you.
Oh,
Hope
I
you.
yeah,
am. I'm
yeah. Keep
100% hoping you're wrong.
yeah. Keep hoping. Keep hoping like you've did for the past 6 years with this game. Yeah, keep hoping.
I've only been playing for a year and a couple months. Okay, I haven't been
I'm
hoping
talking
for
about
six
other
years.
players.
There's Hellimon.
Okay, well
uh,
then
Hey,
Helliman, keep hoping.
no, I don't hope. I just go with the flow.
Okay.
See, I don't
Well,
care when Nulgath comes out. I'd rather them take as long as they want to
just to make
and just
sure
keep pumping
it's
out this useless content, but not changing any stats. You know what I mean? And saving that for story content.
okay. So Clarion says, while the Yelga stuff isn't the main storyline, I never seen it as a throwaway story. Is it an immersive story though, Clarion?
No.
Eh,
Are you in touch with your player base? Do you know what we want?
I don't think it matters what we want. I think it's what everybody's
No,
expecting.
I meant the player base. What does the player base in general wants?
Yeah, I'm just assuming people are gonna be so pissed off about this
okay,
katana.
okay. Here's his reply. He said, "I've
They're gonna
wanted to give
nerf the hell
Yolger a
out of it.
purpose in the world of lore again." Right? He said that.
Mhm.
Okay. To reply to that, honestly, you've given it a purpose good enough by implementing the cosmetics that are forgotten. That's all you needed to do to give it a purpose. Yolger is like a blacksmith, right? So all he needs
Yeah,
to do is like make cosmetics that doesn't beat a 25-day grind. Then you've given it its purpose ultimately, right?
that's what I like about them doing this stuff with the Yogurt, because he's, like you said, he's a blacksmith. That's his lore, and them bringing that to light
Somebody
is
on
pretty
chat
cool. But
says, also it's not great that AE keeps accusing their player base of stuff, then proceeding to pretend that we are equally ignorant. Yeah, I don't like that they've been doing that to us recently. It's like, all right, you guys are complaining for the wrong reasons, and
yeah,
it's not.
I
I
mean they
don't
can
know
make the
how
argument
else.
however they want,
I
but
don't. I don't know how else to articulate why, because I haven't been rude. I haven't sworn at anybody. I haven't come across as being aggressive. I've tried my best to be respectful about the points that I'm raising. I'm not attacking anybody, and I just I just want to have fun in the game. I just want my friends to have fun in the game. I just want everyone to have fun in the game. And I want you to value our time. Everybody just wants their time to be valued. Because to me, personally, my time is more valuable than my money. And I know that it's the same way for a lot of players. And I know that right now I'm no longer supporting AE monetarily, but I have. And the community can tell you how much giveaways I've done, how much money I've spent. Right? I don't need to come here and brag about how much money I've spent on the game. And so many people have stopped because they're dissatisfied, and we really want to be able to do these community events. Acer is another one of them. We really want to come back and do these events. And if you come and tell us, yo, if you don't like the game, quit. Well, here's what we did: quit. We did stop playing. We did stop
yeah,
streaming,
honestly,
and Artix asked us to come back. So
Hey, yo, I have oh, sorry.
it's no longer about just saying if you don't like it, leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for all of us in chat.
Yes.
If the weapon, the cosmic cutter, took as long hour wise as the Sun Fury scythe, would this be an issue? But if it was
I
like
already have
actually
it, so it doesn't
challenging you,
matter.
yeah. But
Mm,
if it took as long to get hour wise, like around 20-25 hours to get from doing a whole bunch of stuff in the game, would that be an issue? Personally, no. It's just that the way we get it is terrible. The way we power up is awful, and I don't like it.
Have to agree. Alright, so Clarion said, I thought this would have been a fun way to slowly build it out. The Cosmic Cutter will not be the best weapon in game for long. Once the power raises again with Nulgath, the Cosmic Cutter will basically be just an entry-level weapon for the new saga. I mean, well, that's reassuring. It'll be cosmetic, and I'll be glad. Uh, this is a genuine question. What is a genuine question? What was the question?
Did you say they agree with the progression of it? If they agree with the progression of it, then dude, of course, it's most of those alt accounts that were created that agree with the progression of it.
Alright, so where are
I
you
don't really.
getting your information, Fainal, saying there are so many people disagreeing with the take? However, Mads, many people agree with the progression. Where are you getting that information? Because we would like to see. We honestly, because we've been around. You can't say that we haven't been around.
I just wanted to play with my friends.
But I am 100%. I am 100% open to being wrong. I say that all the time, and I genuinely mean it. This is no
I, I
aggression.
I legitimately want to see the people who agree with the progression of it, but because I bet most of those people have alt accounts that have done the same thing because I mean, it's probably people like Helimod, like that
What?
have. Look! Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it like you because like you haven't done Sun Fury. You haven't done
I
that.
haven't.
You
I
haven't.
would prefer Sun
So
Fury to still be better.
you have no. I'm not saying it like you, as in
Oh,
like overall. I'm saying it like people like you who haven't farmed Sun Fury. Then they come in, they farm this, is like, oh yeah, hell yeah, let's go, dude. I'm on par with the other
yeah.
players now. So
763 power. Let's go, guys. I totally earned this. I did not wait until the capstones were useless and the weapons were useless.
there you.
763. Let's go.
And keep in mind, all you need to do is like spend gold, which keep in mind, I have 10 I don't even do dailies and all of that. I don't even farm gold.
Oh, let
Dude,
me.
I have like 10,200,000 gold. That's enough to like upgrade like at
Oh,
least like
Fainal can't send
70 or 80
links.
weapons. What?
Can you send that to me on Discord, whatever link you're trying to post? Or send it to Helimod and he can post it?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see this. This should be interesting.
Yeah, if you could just message me on Twitch or Discord.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I need to readjust my automod settings. Sorry about that.
So, in my opinion, how stats should work, if they want to keep putting inside content that has stat-based weapons, which is cool and all, but they should take a kind of a step back on the grinding process in Sansi that took 25 days of dailies just to get a single weapon. If you're just gonna have a 30-minute thing to replace that,
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, it would be cool if like story content focused on like two major builds, like an attack build and a tank build. And that's all story content releases for their best stats. And then when they want to put in side content, they build the, lesser stats like armor, haste, crit. Like, I mean, they're really good if you use them right. But that would make a lot more sense in the future to have more stat variants than having everything
Let's
the
see.
way it is right now.
Let's
That's
see.
that's my only opinion on how this works out. So
No, raid is dead, so it serves its purpose. This guy brought in the raid as an excuse. so it
Right.
serves its purpose. If they didn't add this weapon, people would still be in raids. Recently,
That is literally 2 people, Fainal. That is literally 2 people.
I have more. Hold on.
no,
There's
send
No, a
this
bunch
is-
of
Send
people in my
all.
guild were farming the
Send
raid
send
last
all of
night
them.
to get the best
No,
weapon in the game.
I'm
but-
gonna be hold on. I'm gonna be denying each and every single point right now. Watch.
Alright,
Okay,
I want to
so
be proven right. Taco does have a point. I agree with Akalescent's point.
okay, let
Alright.
me read the second point. Hold on. This is the first point. This is from Morpheus Odie. Oh, by the way, no disrespect towards just any of these people. Their opinion obviously matters, but I'm just reading them and I'm debunking their points that they're giving. They're saying no raid is dead, so it serves its purpose for players that are new and can do the raid. In addition, it is not that much of a big of a difference that it needs to be nerfed. It is not much of a big difference. When you say that it's not a big difference, those players who farmed for 25 days in total and then who farmed for like 30 minutes, yeah, that is not much of a big difference. Yeah, that's right. Then second point is when you have people farming for Sun Fury and all of that. By the way, people still farm for Sun Fury. I've been there. It's just slower. It's just a slower process. It's because the raid is boring, honestly, and it doesn't benefit you in any other way. They should have made it in a way that it would benefit you when it comes to XP. But that's not beside the point here. All right, time to read the second one.
Alright, I've read these and they are valid claims. I'm not gonna lie. From my perspective, they're valid claims. Taco makes good claim. Asuna has good claim. Fainal, I agree and both disagree with your claim. And well, for Asuna, well, yeah, she does have a valid point. Okay, because they didn't grind it, but yeah, and Morpheus has a valid point about raid being dead. But if the raid is dead, your solution is to not entice people to play the raid, but here's side content.
Okay. Plus, Sun Fury has been out for a long time already. Stuff like this is inevitable for MMOs. Why don't they do it in the new story instead of doing it on a side story?
Exactly.
And then why have the axes on like lower stats rather than the katana on higher stats? That does those 2 points don't make any sense. So when you say Plus Sun Fury has been out for a long time already, stuff like this is inevitable for MMOs. They should have done that in the main story that they're working on right now, which I assume which should have been up by next month or so, or like this month. That's what they said for part 1 and part 2. Like you can add that, you can implement that in part 1 and part 2. So another point debunked. I'm gonna go read the third one.
I-
Hold on.
I just feel bad for the
Clarion
people who,
says the
like,
axes were
just
weaker at the
finished
time.
farming it.
Sorry.
Say what? Clarion said what?
He said the axes were weaker at the time because the level cap wasn't raised at the time of that release.
Mm,
The Axis came out at level 35.
Yeah.
Axis came out at level 35. The axes are level 32. What are you talking about? Hold on. Oh, let me go
Alright.
to you, Older.
I do have something I want to say.
Yes.
So, Fainal, with your point, and to me, anyways, there hasn't been a single piece of content that's released this year where the best in slot actually mattered. So, I feel like some Fury size should be the entry level to the Nulgath saga because that's how it's supposed to go. But it's not like the player's fault that it's been an 8-month gap between story content. Well,
Yeah.
like everything's either been scaled or just doable without it. Like it hasn't mattered.
Yeah. I agree with King Repire. He says side content should not replace the best in slot. The best in slot legendary that we were promised would stay best in slot until the end of the next saga.
Right? It took 8 months to get there, but we're finally almost there, guys.
Exactly. That's what I'm
I just
saying.
feel bad for the people who just finished it and they just got replaced with a new thing that took 30 minutes to 4 hours or whatever to farm.
See,
That's
Oh,
my.
man.
that's the point. That's what I'm saying. And when you say the stats of the axe is like on par of the stats like of the level that we had at the time, the axes were released when we were level 35. So
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Oh, Luna is right.
Clarion wants to join.
He wants to join the
Sure.
Who's
VC.
about to finish it
Sure.
tomorrow, bro? There's people who are probably gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Okay,
Luna says
Clarion wants to
stats
join the VC.
stats don't really
Sure.
matter. Is he in our server? Type
Yeah, let me invite him real
and invite him to the server and I'll just give him the
That's
role.
don't
And
matter.
then
Stats do matter.
No.
Stats
Stats at this small.
at this
This.
small change,
Yeah.
yes. Okay,
They don't
they
matter.
don't matter.
I don't know. There's no difference between Sun
All right,
Fury
now
and
when he
Katana, but
joins, give him
still.
the rules. I don't know how. Or
Okay.
like I don't know if I can.
Let me see.
So Fainal
So-
says he can understand Ace's point, but he can't understand your point, Helimod.
So best in slot's supposed to carry you through content. You're supposed to feel stronger through content, right? But every single update, like Westmere, that wasn't for level 35s. That was scaled. The PvP, that's scaled. Moistverse, that was scaled.
Was
Everything in between has been scaled.
Yeah, Moistverse
like-
was scaled. Everything was scaled.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
There
don't
we go.
remember Westmere being scaled.
Oh,
Alright,
hi,
alright.
Kiba.
The
Oh,
G Fuel
Clarion here
like
too.
we got
the G
Clarion.
Fuel
Oh, nice.
challenge dungeon wasn't scaled. It was level 35 requirement.
Yeah.
That was the only thing.
Oh yeah, that okay, good point. So I guess it was best in slot for that.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, all the statted gear made every other story content in the game useless to grind through. You could do all of your grinding in Moistverse
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
surprised
all
that
of the
hasn't been
skilled
fixed.
gear. To get all the skilled gear in the game, and then do Sansi after that, you can blow through the story easily. Once
Hey
you
guys,
have
can you hear
all
me?
the Moistverse.
We can hear you.
Yes.
All right, let me just adjust your audio real quick.
Oh, Fainal wants to be added too. Can I invite Fainal?
He's in the
He
server.
the
Yeah.
I gave him the role already, so
Could you say something again, Clarion?
Yeah, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, nice.
there we go.
So that's perfect.
Alright.
Can everybody in chat hear him?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear him through the stream. too.
It's a party now.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
All
I'm streaming.
All right, before you guys go any further, let me just ask at this point, are you okay with this being put onto YouTube? Because that is what this section of the video was supposed to be for. This discussion was supposed to go on YouTube.
Sure.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
So I'd like to clarify something I said in game.
Yes.
When I said that the axes were a lower level because the level cap was 35, I never meant to. Maybe I worded it poorly. I didn't mean that they were like released as a level cap item. The reason they were weaker than the level cap at the time is because CNC was still the current highest raid tier. I guess you would equate it to, and if you were to talk about like another MMO. They were never meant to be stronger than the slice because
Okay.
they're just meant to be a weapon that players could just use with the game. However,
Jax is level 30. Then they
All right,
combine it
try
to
now,
level
Fainal.
32.
Hey,
Sorry.
Matt.
Thank you,
Mm.
Helimot.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you.
Let us
What do you mean, thank you, Helimot? I gave you the role.
Okay,
Well, I
thank
couldn't
you.
give them the rules. I was gonna ask, but I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Go
here
on,
to.
Claire.
I didn't want to invade you, but I'm here to back up Clarion. So,
Oh,
so
All right,
the
all right.
ac-
Let's let's go. I am.
one by one. Let Clarion start. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah.
Clarion.
Clarion. Clarion.
the axes were never meant to be a new level capped item or anything. They were just meant to be like an alternative form of progression to get to the point where you could do the CNC. However, with Nulgath coming at the end of the month, my thought process behind the katanas was, okay, this would be a fun jumping off point for the Nulgath content. Maybe I misjudged the reaction. I've seen mixed reaction. Clearly, you guys haven't been happy with my choice. And I apologize. I'm here to listen. I didn't come here to be confrontational or anything. I just
Mhm.
wanted to share my thought process behind what I did. Nulgath's coming at the end of the month. In my eyes, this is basically like the AQ3D equivalent of releasing a new expansion.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
that's what
'Cause-
Fizzing says too.
That's why. Well, go on, sir.
So I play a lot of MMOs. I'm not a
Same.
stranger to the genre. When you start a new expansion in a MMO, generally speaking, the equipment from that expansion will dwarf whatever you had previously.
Mhm.
There's a bit of a meme in the MMO genre of oh wow, this legendary weapon I got in the previous expansion. Not legendaries in rarity wise, but hey, the stick from this island is somehow has more stats than the previous one. It was never
Yeah.
meant to devalue people's effort of getting the scythe. I mean, I think personally, a year of not having to get a new weapon, I would imagine that's like
It has
lot of-
it hasn't been a year.
it's been about 7-8 months, correct?
Mm.
7 to 11. It's been like about.
But most people would have
8.
gotten the Sun Fury site, their first site, around mid-December.
Because it takes 30 days to get it.
25.
And
Yeah, 25.
25. Okay, it takes 25 days to get it. If you do it as a routine job,
Sure.
that means hop on, do it, and keep on doing it. Takes 25 days.
No. It takes 25 days if you keep doing it with the daily quest only. So
Mm-hmm.
just 25 days in general. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So-
if you do it religiously, it'll take you like 10 days. There you go.
Question is, not worth it.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, if you go do old raids in like WoW or something, like, you're not going to be using that equipment in the current
Yeah.
expansion.
I mean,
Yeah.
Asmongold Gold is still going to one raid area just to get one sword he hasn't got yet, and he's been over for 20 years. Over 20 years or so around there.
Yeah, but
Hasn't
that's
gone
not
for him
that's
yet.
not the point, Kibo. I'm sorry to cut you across, but that's not the point that we were
I
making
know.
at all.
Yeah, the point was that it was for just some side
Mhm.
content, right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like I said, technically speaking, the ogre stuff is a side quest. This release had a bit of issues with it, with communication from the staff. The original release was not supposed to be limited to 5 people in the map, and the map wasn't originally intended to be what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's on me. I should have been more clear with what I wanted for this release, and I apologize for that. However, like I said, this comes back to like the idea of like the Nulgath saga is viewed as basically an expansion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when new expansions come out in MMOs, typically the gear from that expansion is better, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so consider like this just like the first big item you're getting from this expansion, and when the rest of Nulgath comes out, you're probably
No.
gonna be swapping out the Cosmic Cutter for the rest of Nulgath.
It's not
stuff.
it's not just that, but even when other games, I'm not sure which games you've played other than WoW, but you said you played a lot. Haven't any of those games used the best in slot item from the previous saga to get you at least halfway through or quarter way through the next saga? Were they
in
not
my
relevant?
experience personally, but
You know?
like you usually in my
Mhm.
experience playing MMOs, you usually swap out your previous gear the moment you do the next dungeon, like the first dungeon of the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like when the expansion released way back in Dragon's Nest, I think the max cap was like 90, and they increased by 3 levels. And the gear you could get in the dungeon was more powerful than the gear you previously had. The next expansion.
Yeah. But
And
everything is pretty much replaced within a few levels.
mhm.
It's like I've been playing Diablo Immortal lately, and like their
Mhm.
progression's pretty good.
Bruh.
Even though I hate their pay to win stuff, and I'm a hypocrite for playing the game, but I mean, I like Diablo. I was always been a big fan of Diablo, but I like their progression and how stuff is. But all games are different, and all progression.
That's like that's like comparing apples and oranges. You can't.
However,
I mean,
do have to
but
point out
between
what
each
what
area,
Acer
your
said.
gear progresses. So
Sorry.
Yeah,
but
what
that's
Acer
each
said,
major
what Acer said
area.
is a good point. That every game has a different way of progression. Like
Mhm.
not every game has to follow the structure of WoW, for example, how they progress, or
Exactly.
Final Fantasy and how they progress, or how Diablo Immortal. And the way that we offer progression is a little bit unorthodox, perhaps. Yeah, it's not as straightforward because we don't do expansions as regular other games. We do it in a weird way due to the time frame of how everything is done in the game. But that's the whole point. Like Clarion will, when this whole thing will offer different kind of progressions, I guess. And remember, Clarion, that we even talk about the whole access things being a progression, especially for lower levels as well. The players that were trying to catch up with the regular players.
Man, I've been playing RTS Entertainment games for a long time, and their progression changes so much. Like it's really inconsistent, which isn't bad. It's different every time some new story comes out. It could be 3 months, it could be 2 weeks, it could be whatever. I mean, I don't mind that, but going from 8 months from the beginning of Sandsea to what November last year is when the end of Sandsea came out. I mean, I didn't bother farming the best. I mean, my gear's not too bad, but
Like,
I focused a lot of my time mainly on like all the other cosmetics and everything else
Mm-hmm.
you can farm. Like,
mm,
I haven't played a lot of PvP, but I'm pretty progressed in that. But I mean, it's just kind of, I don't mind that the swords, a little better than the Sansi stuff. I mean, it does suck for everyone who's actually grinded it, unlike
mhm.
myself. But I mean, maybe they could have gave a heads up or something. It's like, so Nulgath's coming soon. We're gonna start releasing some better gear, so the Nulgath story's a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like that would have been a cool heads up. But the
Just some
last time something
communication.
like this happened, yeah, it's just communication. I mean, some players are mad, some don't care.
Okay.
Like,
When
I really don't
Also,
care,
King
but
Don't
Repire has
like
a
it as
point.
well.
If
But
anybody
I
wants
need
to
you
read
keep
chat.
pointing that thing. Sorry, go ahead.
look,
Vlad.
What's up?
Also, if anybody wants to read what King Repire said in chat or address that.
I
okay,
think during the Yokai saga, when it was like what level 25, those stupid pink pony shoes came out in Battle on Social,
Mhm.
and the gear was better, and then they immediately, like, the community was pissed, and they nerfed it down to be a cosmetic. It was just a rare drop, different from the other pink
Able
pony
to,
shoes.
if
I
I'm
think it's
able
a
to intervene
permanent
there,
rare too.
if I'm able to
Uh,
intervene there, that was a mistake. That because I was
Yeah.
back then I was already a tester, yeah, and that was a mistake, an oversight. That's why it wasn't never
Yeah.
meant to have stats of that regard because
Mhm.
someone either forgot that the area scales or someone forgot to change the flag from cosmetic to stat. So that was a
I kind of
mistake, an
assumed the
oversight, and that's why
sword.
that got corrected because it was never intended to be
Mhm.
designed that first time.
It's like the whole scale dungeons, all the gear in the game. When
Mm.
they when they made all the
Uh,
dungeons scaled, they also made all the gear scaled, and it made all the stat variances that Helly loved. But
Daywalker.
I
that
do.
was
Love
all an
I
that.
love them too.
accident.
Ellie more than I love that a lot.
That
Uh,
was cool. I liked it. I liked that, going back to old maps and grinding different, final bosses for their best gear, and building, alternate sets versus like the best story content of the time. I mean, it didn't feel like the gear was much stronger than all the story. Like the farthest thing was Yokai, and that was the, like, Ryujin and Tengu sets at the
Uh,
time, and
the funny
like it
part
wasn't too
was
bad.
during that scouting thing, Vampire Daywalker gloves I think was the best in slot at the time for attack wise, or something like that.
Oh yeah, there was a whole bunch of random stuff. There was something from like Akraloff, like the guns or something, that was like really good crit, I think.
okay, so you guys are talking about things that were around before I started playing, right? Let me ask you guys a question before Fainal or Clarion continue. When the next expansion or the next saga started, right? So let's look at the adventure menu main story. So let's say when Ashfall ended and Lalosia started, did the gear that came with the first release of Lalosia make the best in slot item from Ashfall irrelevant?
There was a lot of stuff between that. I think there was a Legion map with that gear maybe between there. I can't remember a lot of like the order of how stuff came out, but there was
What?
a lot of different gear within like 3 months of each other that came out, and it was
Mhm.
like
All right,
better
so
stats
the reason
every
I asked that
time.
is because I wanted to know if there was a precedent set for this kind of thing happening in this particular way,
Well, I
like
don't know.
like side content gear replacing the best gear that you had to spend a long time farming in the previous saga in
See,
AQ3D,
the
since we're
longest
looking at
farm,
AQ3D progression specifically.
I think the longest farm I could remember was like when the Underworld map came out with the Heretic
Oh.
set. That set was,
Mhm.
that, I mean, that felt like a perfect amount of time for a story content best in set. Like, to me, that was like the greatest era of the AQ3D like progression,
Mm-hmm.
because like there was still content coming around it, and like the gear that came out with, kind of, with like the amount of time it took versus how much better it was in the last set wasn't too far off. But that was a really good,
Hmm.
like, that was one of my favorite times playing the game.
I
I
think I
mean, it took me
joined. Oh,
like,
sorry.
I think it took me like uh 12 hours straight farming. Like I sat there and played the game for 12 hours to farm that entire set. Which that for a try hard 12 hours straight sitting there doing that versus logging into the game for 25 days, playing for 2 hours or whatever. I mean, that's 48 hours. I mean, no, it's like 100 hours, but still, like, I mean, that's kind of excessive
It's a lot.
for.
I remember
But
when. Oh, sorry.
I mean, there's still. I mean, you do the 25-day daily, and then you still got all the other content that they're releasing. You have to farm that too. That's why I didn't worry about the Sand Sea because that would took forever every
I didn't
day.
get
I'd
it
rather
because
spend
of
the
the
time on
dungeons.
everything else they do.
Wait,
I
Yeah,
felt like
that's
what are we
why.
talking about?
To answer your question, like I'm checking Lolosia right now. So I think Lolosia was right after what is it called?
Arcala.
Ashfall.
Yeah, Aglot. Thank you, Aglot and Ashfall. Yeah, and
Asphalt
I
because
think
Ashfall.
I remember it was
I think
22. Lucia was 22 level because it was
yeah,
forced everybody at level
exactly.
22. I remember
So
them
it was
days. I hate them.
immediately. Yeah, Kiva is correct. It's immediately an improvement because it was a level up.
Okay.
It was a
So
level up
February
increase.
So stat wise,
2018.
like how big was the stat difference between it?
So the difference, I think, is one level blue from assuming that you got the the full Talon set, the Dragon Lord set, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with the level ups, there was originally just regular guns, but they at level 22 we started to get both purple gear and blue gear, all level 22.
Mm-hmm.
So there
And I think
is
they
difference in
finished
that.
that around Frostfall at the end of that year in 2018.
I remember
I'm talking
I think
pre-challenge, by the way. Like before the
okay.
challenge, Kamura is regular bracken because Sana bracken wasn't a thing there.
I
And
remember before that. I remember when Dark Curse was around. When Dark Curse was when I joined, the best set in slot was I think the Full Blood Vampire set for attack wise, and I think it was the werewolf hunting guns,
yeah, I
combined
remember them.
with the frost horns of
Mm-hmm.
frost
From the Yeti.
giant. Yeah,
Oh,
that was the best in
wait.
slot at the time when I joined.
After Ashfall, didn't Darkovia Part 2 come out with the castle before La Lucia?
No, I
Or was
think that
that
was
level
after Lucia.
25?
I think that was after
Oh, because
Lucia.
then I
Correctly.
think around that same time,
Mm-hmm.
Dragon's Graveyard and World Tree came out, but they were both scaled down
Yeah, and those are
maps
meant
that
for
didn't
low
matter.
levels. Ward 3 is
Yeah.
level 7, and I think Cemetery of Dragons, I mean, the Sakaru area is like level 12, if I remember
I
correctly, and I
do
remember
not.
the design
I'm
thing that
happy
was
they
that.
removed the downscale level. I always hated that.
That was dumb.
So,
I mean, I didn't
all
mind
right,
it,
I
but
have a
the content was great. But
Yeah, Helly, go ahead.
I have a question. Would any
Go.
of us have minded it if it was just a Nulgath mini release?
No.
honestly, they probably could have
Oh,
hide
that's a
that
good
in there with
question.
some kind of NPC.
No, okay. Then I don't think anybody would have actually
Yeah.
worried about it if it was a Nulgath mini release.
Then
It still
Probably
could have
my
been the
ask,
same concept, but
my following question to that, Helmut, is that then why is a big deal now? Like if it was a Nulgat side content, let's say that the Legion are preparing to. I'm not spoiling anything, by the way. Don't take that I'm spoiling the story or
Mm-hmm.
anything. I'm just hypothetical. Everything is hypothetical. Let's say that the
Mhm.
Legion is preparing to invade the Nulgat place, right? So therefore, some Dage is offering you some Legion weapons that are a katana, for example, or a glaive that is level
Mhm.
56. Ghoul, just because that's linked to Nulgat and the current and then upcoming expansion, Ghoul that make anyone unhappy or like mad about it or disagreeing with it.
You want to get that,
See, that's
Helly?
what I don't
But
mind that this.
what I think about that, I'd say, is just because that it's sided with the main story, which
Mm-hmm.
is part of the main story. I feel like at this point, because Nulgath is gonna be part of the main story, and I
Yeah,
assume they have some type of rivalry going on. So, just because Dage is part of the main story, I'd say no one would have minded it 100%.
Mhm.
Can I interject
And
here? I
Yeah,
have a
sure.
few things I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Sorry.
Honestly, if they made
go
it
ahead.
public information that this sword was going to
Acer,
be better
Acer,
Acer,
just
Acer,
because
Acer,
they
Acer.
paid for it.
Clarion wanted to say
allow
something.
Clarion to speak.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Clarion.
So I have a few things I would like to say and address.
Mhm.
First of all, you guys were talking earlier about communication with the team about no design notes being released for the change I made last night.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
nobody was awake except for me when I made that change last night, and it was a change I made of my own volition because players were not happy with the way the map released. Because the way the map is designed, that determines the spawn rates. I don't touch the maps. I do database entry basically, where I can design quests from the database and set spawns, but I can't set these spawn timers. That was not intended to be that way, so I did a quick hotfix to try and fix that. I don't have access to the design notes, so I made a post on Discord, and it was never meant to be a big thing. The release wasn't live that long that I didn't think it was that big of a deal, because it was just a way to kind of like fix a problem that was happening, and I want to try. I just want to try and like help with the the release and make sure people were having fun.
Based on feedback.
This wasn't like a way to like, oh, let's like ignore what the players wanted. Like, let's ignore like communicating with the players. It was never seen that way. You'll find, I know it might be, I'm a bit biased because I work with AE. We're never like thinking like that. Like there was no way for me to release a design note but look, even if, I'll be honest, like even if I could, it was such a small thing that I didn't think it was design note worthy, especially with the way I announced it. I just wanted to get in there ASAP, and like I've done this before where I've like quickly changed things on live to make things better for the players when they tell me there's a problem.
I kind of noticed.
Can I interject?
Go on.
Sure.
That I before you joined, that specifically is what I raise an issue with. In so many other games I play, if they change one thing, if they buff the attack, or if they change anything with how the game interacts, you would find it right here. You click on your news menu, wherever it is, somewhere here, change log. This has changed.
Well,
even if you change, even if the release has been live for 5 minutes and something changed, well, maybe not 5 minutes, but 5 hours. If it's been alive for that long,
I don't know. I don't know if that's entirely accurate. Like I've played a lot of online games myself, but beyond that, the choice was either I left it the way it was or I fixed it right away.
Yeah,
and I made a judgment call, and if, like I said, if
no, I'm glad you fixed it. I'm glad you fixed it. I wish it was communicated better. That's been what I've been advocating for the past 2-3 weeks.
Well, this is why I'm here right now.
Yeah, exactly, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
And the other thing I wanted to interject with was this notion that like side content is inherently bad because it's not related to the main story. I think that's such a limiting way of looking at the way we do releases, and I don't think it's fair to just say that we can't do anything major with the side content. Yolger's an important, like I'm like, look, I am like, I'm not just saying this, I'm legitimately a fan of Adventure Quest. I've been a fan of AE since the original Adventure Quest when I was a kid. I remember having to mail in money to AE, not use a credit card or anything, to get my guardianship in Adventure Quest. Yolger's not some like random person. Yolger's an important character in the lore.
If you pay attention to the quest line that Clarion is writing, he's just exposing all of this back trauma that Nulgath has with what happened in the previous games. I can't tell that. It's fine if you don't pay attention to it, because a lot of people don't pay attention to quest lines or quest text or quest dialogue cutscenes.
People don't.
But you cannot. That's fine if you do. It's completely fine if you don't want to pay attention. But you cannot rule it out as not important because you don't care about it. Like Nulgath, as Clarion said, is an important character. I remember that when Clarion presented the first smithing questline for Nulgath, him and I had a whole conversation about how important it was for Nulgath as a character in the staff chat. Remember, Clarion?
Yeah, like I said, maybe I'm not trying to come off as aggressive here, right? But I'm not gonna like. I think it's pretty dismissive to like say that we can't do interesting stuff with our side content because it's not the main storyline. Lore is such a big world that if we only focused on what was going on with Nulgath coming, like if all we did was focus on Nulgath, it'd be a shame to just ignore what the other inhabitants of like lore are doing. If you've paid attention to the Yolger storyline so far, he feels guilty over the fact that he's done nothing but run his inn and gave up blacksmithing. He feels he can be helping the player for what's to come, which was actually a tease for the Nulgath release. The Nulgath questline is a part of the, like, Yolger is a part of the Nulgath questline.
And I mean, he is a blacksmith, so I mean that's fair, right? But I just want to say that nobody said that you can't do interesting stuff with side quests or side stories.
Well, you
That-
guys
that-
have said multiple times that the fact that this was side content is why it couldn't be a strong weapon.
Yeah,
But
and
then
therein you missed the point of what we were saying.
Look, why I said it, look, I'm sorry, but why I said it in that way is because, like, the point is, like, look at it yourself. Like, Acer said he farmed the katana for 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes. I farmed that katana for 9 hours. I don't mind that. No biggie,
This
right? It
RNG
was
is
fixed.
great.
And then look at the Sun Fury. I farmed that for 25 days, man. Like, you cannot let time, if time is actually golden, then why let it go in that way? It just, like, 30 minutes, dude. Like, that's, if that's all it takes to get like end game content, then why would the new player do Sansi? Like, I literally said I have a guildie who literally does not have most of the main story done, and like, that makes players lazy. So what you're trying to say is, right now, by giving them stats, you're making them lazy. So they're not gonna do the main story. They don't care about the main story. They're gonna focus on Yolger and only Yolger, right? So
but Yolger's weapons aren't going to be stronger than what comes out in the Nulgath release.
All right,
yeah,
that's
but
that's
Yeah,
they're
fair.
gonna
it's
be
gonna be
used.
interesting.
Look, they're gonna be used to help with the Nolga sword. That's they're gonna be used to make.
That's their purpose.
That's intended.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
intended. Okay, well, wow.
That's no.
That's what I
Yolger
said that
says in his
earlier.
quest,
Where
Sorry, go
Yolger
ahead,
says in
Clarion.
his quest line that he feels like things are getting bad in lore, and then he wants to help the player by forging them weapons that they can use to fight what's to come. And what's to come is the Nulgath stuff.
He's just
But,
hinting at it.
like,
He's not outright telling you that, but you're supposed to figure it out. But okay.
So, had this been more intricate and had it taken far more time with less RNG, I don't. Again, I don't think I would have an issue with it.
Well, but didn't you just tell me that the problem was that it wasn't linked to a main character? Like,
Well, it's either I'd want it linked to a main character and have it be ridiculously easy like it is now, or I would want it to be because that would be because it's Nulgath story, right? Oh no, it's story progression, right? But it's not story progression. So having it be side content, I feel like it should be hard, or it should be at least up to the par that Some Fury brought.
but it was harder, and I changed it because
No, RNG does not equate hardness. RNG is RNG.
Yep.
just like farming, Sun
difficulty.
Fury without doing just dailies.
But that's another
matter.
topic, kind of warrants that we cannot
Yeah.
talk about that, I believe.
Yeah,
See,
and
I don't mind side content having better gear, but the fact that Sun Fury took 25 days is just a little excessive, in my
it
opinion.
is. It is.
I do have to point out
But
though.
like,
Go ahead. Yeah, finish.
Then
Fino, you've been playing for a long time.
also,
How long was the gap between most, gear content? It was like what, 3 to 6 months
That's what I
from
want to
like
point out
2
exactly. I said you
levels.
read my
Mhm.
mind. I
you're
want
not
to point
supposed to
out
grind for
that-
old content when there's new
Yeah.
content that offers better gear.
I legit, I remember when Dark Curse was the end game and Blood. Remember when I said my set? I said when I joined the game around the start of 2019, around there. That was the best in slot set. What I said. It was
Sorry,
the Blood
what you said?
Vampire armor. What's
Blood
up?
Vampire. Okay, Blood Vampire.
The
No, I
Blood
didn't
Vampire
understand what you
armor,
said.
Werewolf guns. At the time, it was just at the time that was when you had to use pirate to actually use the guns because weapons didn't had the whole one weapon controlled them all thing.
That was funny.
I didn't like
I
that.
missed that. That was pretty cool. Like, I mean,
It was
you
cool
could
and
make
all, but
3
you know how much
different
clutter you have.
weapons and all that.
So a few
Yeah.
things.
yeah,
It's we don't expect players to grind for Sun Fury now that there's stronger weapons out.
Like I kind of knew that something like this was going to happen.
can
I
we
see why
let
it's not
Clarion finish?
Clarion.
Yeah, like so the Sun Fury scythe was useful for like quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's just eventually weapons are going to release that are stronger than the previous best in slot. Like that's just kind of what's going to happen. Like I said, the Cosmic Cutter is not going to last long. It's only going to be for like until Nulgath comes out at the end of the month. It's just to be a launching on point for the Nulgath content.
Halimod raised a good point earlier, though, but useful for what? Useful for what content?
For starting the Nulgath content.
No, I mean the Sun Fury Scythe. I mean you get that at the end of the raid, so it can't be to play the raid. What was the
Well,
intention of having the Sun Fury Scythe?
Giving you power.
You have
Giving you a
you're
reward.
stronger for everything else that came out afterwards.
Yeah,
Which
anything
was
that you want to do, like anything that you want to do, daily boss farming, cosmetic farming,
daily
buff
bosses
farming,
scaled.
class ranks farming. I mean, that's up to you. That's an opinion. Like if you don't want, if you think it's useless, like that's for you. But it's power that you get
Mhm.
rewarded for doing this, and you choose whoever you want to use it. You can farm cosmetics, class ranks, regular capstones, or you can just sit around and fish all day if you want. But that's power that you earn, and you decide how to use it. Even
Right.
though if you don't want to use it because you don't want to engage with the content, that's perfectly fine as well. Like it's completely fair. I tell Helimod all the time. He tells me I'm gonna skip this. I said, yo, skip it. It's fine. You don't have to play it. However,
That's
the
why I
power
spent the
is
last.
there. Is rewarded for you, and you are allowed to use it. Like
Mhm.
and it
This
has been
this
there
is
for
kind
you
of
for a few months.
the beauty of MMOs. Traditionally, like casual players don't grind for best in slot items, right? It's kind of for the
Mhm.
people that want to min max and get like every percentage of like
Mhm.
power out of every item. Like
Yeah.
if like no like there's once you get an item like that, it's kind of the idea is you kind of just like do whatever you want. Like and when you get like the best item in a game, I mean, you kind of just use it to do whatever you want afterwards. Like it's not.
Yeah. For example, I use my build when I have max level to help farm my teammates, my guildmates, help them in the raid because I was stronger. Yeah, maybe that's what I used to do it, and I help them get the raid gear and do the daily Sun Fury because I was the strongest. That's what I choose to use it. I could have
Okay.
just farmed class ranks in and be the tankiest of the people and help everyone pull to get more class ranks because you need a tank in Herwood, right? Or I could have just been the fastest one in killing in daily boss for dailies. It's up to you, however you choose to use it, but you cannot deny that the power is there because the power you are objectively more powerful than someone that he did not do the Sun Fury
Uh,
for a long period of time. If you don't want to use the power or if you don't care that power, well, that's subjective. But the objective point is that you are more powerful. The numbers are there.
I didn't feel much of a difference, and I'm using like that sand
It's fine
splitter
too.
that was
All
the
right. Before
whole.
King Repara goes, sorry, I get so engaged in discussion sometimes. He says King Repara says, oh, where did it go? I scrolled past it. Yeah, it's a lot of text. He says, what is happening here is you're using better gear to entice people into a side story. Let the side story be the reward and a cosmetic maybe. If people want the story, they will do it, but it should not overshadow the 25-day grind because we love side content, we love stories, but don't make it best in slot because he says promises we're told just got erased in a small side patch because apparently, and he is not the only person that is of this belief. I don't know where it has been said, but apparently it was promised that this would remain best in slot until Nulgath Saga. Right, I will look into that a little more and see if I can find exactly
But
where that came
this is
from. But
this is part of the Nulgath saga. Like this is.
has that been communicated that this is inherently part of the Nulgath Saga? It's just a
If
question.
you,
Again, no attack.
oh yeah, of course. Like I'm saying, if you read the text
Mhm.
from Yolgar, it's kind of a tease that Nulgath is coming.
I mean, if some people thought that Meteor was Nulgath.
Because to me, when if a saga
Wow.
if a saga starts, it will be here.
I would consider this a pre-patch. I'm not sure if you guys have played any pre-patches before.
I have
Um,
in some games,
like-
Lord of the Rings Online and all.
Mhm.
So when Legion came out in WoW, there was a pre-patch where the Legion invaded preemptively, and it was technically the Legion expansion hadn't started yet, but it was like it was a way to ease into the story, right? Like, and you could get like Legion themed gear that would help you out with Legion content. This is
I
the
think
kind of
there's
same
been
idea.
pre-patches in EQ3.
Yeah, so this is the same kind of idea. Like the Olga quest line is a way because players have reaching out to me talking about how there's like no progression in the game and they're tired of just getting cosmetics. So that was my goal with doing this, was to give players something to work towards.
Zancy had a pre-patch. It was that cave.
Oh yeah.
At the Sand
What's up?
Scepter.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the
Yep.
same idea as that. Then, I like I said, it was never meant to like devalue players' work for previous content, but like the reality of the situation is eventually items are going to be weaker than newer items that come out.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
we
fair.
know
Which isn't
that.
surprising.
I think. Okay, I think everyone acknowledges that. It's just I don't think people. Honestly, I didn't even know Yolgar was supposed to be related to Nulgath in any way. So,
It's not that Yolgar is
Yes.
related to Nulgath. It's that Yolgar.
well, related to the story of Nulgath, as you would say. I don't know, but I didn't know that at all. So until up till
See,
now,
there's a half the players read the story and half the don't. Like I play the game
I
twice.
skip.
I skip everything on my main and then I play everything again on my alt to level
I-
that up again
For
and
legit,
read everything that time.
yeah. I
Yeah.
play the story on my main, and me and my guild actually read everything out together as we take rolls. So we memorize everything that happens in the story.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, that's perfectly fine if you don't want to read cutscenes. I understand that a lot of our player base don't read cutscenes or don't care about the story or the dialogue, and that's fine. We can't
Mhm.
force people to do it. But you, of course, are gonna miss in sub tidbits, in sub thesis, in something that you may the devs put these things like there so you can like tease you what is gonna happen in the future. Uh, it's easy to miss, of course, but there was an intention in there.
It's exact same Empire.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I don't care that side can't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yo.
So I don't care that side content has better stuff, but it's just the Sansi thing was just much. I burned through the
Yeah.
content just to make guides for my guild and other
Mhm.
like servers and stuff.
Mhm.
But like that's the only reason I burned through the content. I don't expect Yolgar to have. I haven't played it through on my side character yet, so I didn't expect Yolgar to have Nulgath stuff. But in the same point, I don't care if the sword's better because I didn't have the other one to begin with. I spent thousands of hours in the last 6 months grinding everything else in the game, all the rares, and I mean I've spent hours on some of the rare drops
Mhm.
like Chinese art and didn't get it. Like I think I have like 80 hours on that thing or something stupid like that. But like I don't know, I just didn't care about best in slot because it's not much of a difference. I mean, you're slightly stronger, like Fainal just said. But I mean,
Thank you very
I'm
much for the
doing fairly
donation.
well on all the side content that's scaled. So I mean, that doesn't make a difference to me if I have the best in slot right now. I used to go for best in slot, but I'll probably go for best in slot in Nulgath.
Thank you for the donation. Somebody is anonymously donating. Thank you very much.
Someone was saying that I sound too aggressive because I speak so fast. I'm sorry
Nah,
if I'm speaking too fast, by
Okay,
the way.
that's okay.
I don't think you
I
guys are
have-
being aggressive. Sorry, Helly, go
That's-
ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. So here's my suggestion. Make finishing Sansi a requirement for all of this.
That'd be dope.
And if it is, and when it is, or if it ever is, then I could understand. But
I have a
it's like
counter-argument.
offering solutions to just skip over content.
Yeah.
There should be a level cap for every map. I mean, like before when it was level locked to the highest level, it should be different. Level like you have to be level 8 to do this specific map. I mean, some maps are like that, but some aren't.
Whoever is
Like,
donating,
some
thank you very
Most of the
much.
story continuations are. I don't know.
Kelly, but however, when you say make it a requirement, do you mean finishing the Sansi saga or having Sun Fury daily? Having the Sun Fury, sorry. Because that's different.
No, asking the average player, especially now, power locking the raid did it no justice whatsoever. But especially
Yeah,
now,
that's
you're not going to
weird.
get a group of 10 people who are going to cooperate with each other, realistically.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. That it's a little bit
realistically.
unrealistic
Yeah,
maybe
so
to
I feel like
require the Sun Fury.
story content, it should, the last quest in the Sansi saga should be a requirement for some of this new stuff that's coming.
I agree.
If you, you should have at least have to get to the end there.
Mhm.
Because if you could just choose and pick which parts of the game you want to play, that's not a good experience in my opinion. And if
However,
we're gonna
Helimod,
like, oh, go
wouldn't that
ahead.
compromise how you play the game? Because you play the game skipping content all the time. And I know this because I'm your friend, and you tell me, I want to skip this, and I said, yes, skip it. Wouldn't that lock you out of a lot of content and force you to play content that you do not want to play? And you have
I
expressed to me in the
mean,
past how much you hate that, being forced to play content that you don't want to play.
imagine if you have to do Westmere, and people skip Westmere, and you have to go back to Westmere.
I think what he
That
hates
would
to
be
do
too
is
hard.
dailies. He hates to do daily grinds.
Yeah, stop implementing daily grinds. Wait, we haven't
Daily
gotten a
grinds are
daily grind
cool,
in a
but
long time. Never mind.
But do you
honestly,
see
We
what
yeah.
have
what I
been
was trying to
getting.
say, Helimot? That it
No,
would,
I see what you're saying, and
yeah.
I would be okay with that because it is required for me to get to where I want to be. If I get to pick and choose, then I'm going to pick and choose and not want to do certain things. But if I don't get to pick and choose, then I will have to do it. I won't get a complaint, will I?
I mean, you will complain about having to being forced to do it. Like as someone said, imagine if you skip Westmere and you're trying to do Nulgath or you're trying to do Sansi, which is not related to Westmere whatsoever. Why is like
Yep.
Zoom asking you to go do Westmere? And you will, I don't want to
Well,
do Westmere. That's something that I just didn't do when it released because it didn't catch my attention, for example.
In
Right.
That's fair. But in
Mhm.
addition to that, how do you guys, how do you guys feel about us, and not just me or Helimod, but people in general asking about your value for our time? Because a lot of people are saying this update, what this update did essentially was saying that you had no respect for our time. And that is partly why people are so angry, because of the time it now takes to get this, because it's so easy to get this uh, in comparison, right? And I know we talked about a lot of this before. We didn't touch on this specific point about valuing players' times. The time that we have to play this game, casual players, and the time they have to play this game.
I know AccuLesson was helping some of my guildmates last week, finishing off Sansea's raid, and like that kind of sucks for them that this week, 1 week later, they get their gear replaced by a short grind. I mean, the grind being longer wouldn't change anything that is connected to the Nulgath saga, but maybe a heads up and like I don't know, some kind of PSA might have helped out a little bit, so everybody fully understood that the gear from this release is going to help everyone get into Nulgath, which would be I don't know, to me the communication would have been perfect with that
Mm.
being 6 7 months ago that the raid came out. Everybody who was then had the time to get the weapon unless they didn't
Yeah.
want to because of their own
Which again is fair. It's fair to not want to get some Fury. I'm telling Clarion, I don't know if Clarion agree with me because we had this conversation before, that giving the players more options on how to gear up is always a good thing. I don't know if you agree with that, Clarion, back then or not. I forgot already.
I
I mean,
I, I
I
agree.
totally do. You should be able to gear up through different avenues, right? Because not every
Yeah.
content's for every person.
gearing
Hmm.
up more frequently would be pretty great. I honestly,
Yeah.
if I would have got the best in slot in November, I would have been bored as hell. I was about to start Sansi again just to grind it up because I was raiding
I
on
I
Nulgath,
stopped.
but
Yeah, I stopped grinding after December 2nd when I got my first Sun Fury site because I couldn't be bothered to do the Sharkin again to find a group to do Sharkin. Right? But I've been maxing
yeah, there's
Fuse
some
since
people who got
then.
all four.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like that the people got all four. The collectors, like I collect all the stupid rare drops in the game. I love doing dumb shit like that, just sitting on my running
But
around on dungeons and doing that. I mean, Sun Fury, I had to put more work into finding people to help, but I like the lazy farms where I could sit for hours or run through a dungeon for hours and get like those ridiculously rare drops. Even if I don't end up getting it, I spent all the time doing it. I don't feel like it's a waste of time. I'll bump into it one day, but that's how I see rare drops, which I like rare drops because they add something to do in the game. And then to me, like I said earlier, like the Heretic set taking 12 hours straight with the beer, me and him both ran that all day constantly just to get that set. And it felt very rewarding at the time. And it
mhm.
lasted, what, like 2 3 weeks? I don't even remember what came out like right after that, but to me that was like one of the best experiences I had playing the game, farming
Thank you.
gear. I mean, how many people in the game take, there's a bunch of tryhards, but there's more casual players in the game, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, to me, there's
Hey, I'll be right back. I
rewards.
use the bathroom.
Okay.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
Yeah. Now, also,
I-
thank you
I
very much
just
for your
have-
donation, Zuko. Much appreciate. Much appreciate. I feel
Also,
like at some points at some points we strayed off topic, but it's been a pretty beneficial discussion, I would say. Like, I appreciate
mean-
Clarion and Fainal joining, and I appreciate everything everybody said. I still don't feel like we've gotten to that common ground just yet, though. On,
I don't think it matters. We're getting new content soon.
yeah.
Either way,
No, it does matter.
if
It does matter.
In
if
hindsight,
it's made
I
a big
think
deal
the
right
fact
now, then it'll be changed later on, and
in
it won't be
hindsight, I
as
think the fact that we're arguing or not arguing, just discussing new
Mhm.
content, I think is a good thing in general. The fact
Yeah.
that we're at least passionately discussing new
Yeah,
content
yeah,
instead
no.
of being stuck with no content.
things
Uh,
will change in the future. Like he said, he wants to add more side content that
Mhm.
adds, better gear. So like if they release the first patch in Nulgath in 2 weeks, and then have some side content in like August that has better gear to that's a part of the story that branches into the next big Nulgath release, I
Mhm.
wouldn't mind something like that. That's a lot closer than 25 days farming
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all this
yeah.
other side stuff that's come through. I mean, I
I
like playing the game,
remember.
so
I remember when Son of the Bracken was a side stuff, and people were able to get the Bracken daggers. And
yeah, and those are pretty good.
there were as a side quest, you legit had to go out your way to get it.
And that was the best weapon for a bit.
Like, can you bring up the possible drop rate boost or optimization for G Fuel? It sucks for mobile players. I don't think.
Clarion is not here.
Yeah, I don't think G
I'm
Fuel
back.
is gonna be touched. Oh, Clarion is here.
Never mind, he's back.
Not sponsored.
Welcome back.
Not sponsored by GPU.
Yeah.
If the content is over 3 months old and they haven't fixed it yet, they're not gonna fix it. It hurts me to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, Morpheus
honestly,
is
obnoxious.
asking about the drop
Oh.
rate boost optimization for G Fuel challenge.
No.
I
No.
I don't know if that's in
better
the cards right
phone.
now.
Right.
You're taking resources away to fix something
Yeah.
that 5 people are doing.
The holy resources.
The whole
Holy resources. There's like 10 people work at AE who do specifically AQ3D stuff. I'm just assuming, but
You're
like,
not far off.
We're not
Bruh.
allowed
you
to say
take
that.
2 people away to do something, then you're wasting 2 people to do something for the future. Like I don't mind if they ever redo Doomwood and you stick a few people on that, and then a few people are doing the story, then that's 2 things getting done at once. And if you're sticking other people on other things, you're kind of taking away
Yeah.
from new
Alright,
new
I just
stuff.
I
You're
just want to
fixing
say
old stuff.
I just want to say this at this point. Please do not expend any resources on adding a bathroom. Please give us quality of life updates before
Yeah, I
you
want the
give us.
bathroom.
Listen, we do
telling me
not
you
want the
really want a
bathroom.
bathroom?
We really do not want
Wait a
that
second.
bathroom.
You don't
Guys.
consider a bathroom quality of life?
No,
What if the bathroom was a portal to Nulgath World, though?
that would be
cool.
kind of sus. But
I mean, it could lead to the sewers.
So why are we
Yeah,
getting
it
a
could.
dog update next week and not Nulgath?
Nulgath isn't done yet.
I don't think we could talk about that
Rush
here.
it. They should take longer on Nulgath. Nulgath
Rush
should
it.
come out in August.
No,
want
you
to-
I like it.
Kelimon, you always say these things and you always go back into your word. Rush it. If we rush it, you're gonna complain that we rushed it.
Exactly. I agree with you, Fainal.
Last time, I remember
I'm
when
kidding, relax. Oh my god.
I remember when Westmere was out, and I think they rushed it first time, and everybody got stuck in the PNG door quest line.
I remember that.
Jeez, sounds like you guys had a rough time.
But they
At
couldn't
the
kill
very
it.
least, I expect 2 spelling errors.
If you die against the wolf, you couldn't do the quest. Continue it.
Ah,
Good thing
all right.
I
But
died,
it
people were
is-
complaining about it.
It is like
You know, it's
one.
it's
It is
broken.
like 1 a.m. and I know we will probably, if we stay here, we'll keep talking for hours. But I
mean,
just
we play video games. If once we get on a topic, we keep on going.
yeah. But the point
Yeah,
of
we
tonight's
branched off a lot of
discussion,
times.
the point of tonight's discussion was to talk about how we felt about the Katana release. We did that. We got Clarion and Fainal here, and we have all of all of the people in chat. We have Helimod, we have Mads, we have Kiba, and we have Asa, right?
I've been like over 2,500 hours in the game already.
Oh, I've only been playing for a year and I have like 1,500 hours almost. No, I have more than 1,500 hours because I play on
2,500,
mobile,
I think.
right?
I
So,
wish I knew my mobile stats.
yeah. So, but that's beside the point. I just want to thank Clarion and Fainal for taking time to come and talk to us. And I just want you guys to know that we have no, it's not from a point of hate whenever we open discussion on Twitter. It's always because we want to play a good game. We want our time to be valued and we just want to have fun with our friends. We want AQ3D to succeed. And that
Of
is where all
course,
of it comes from.
I never took this as an attack or anything. I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
clarify some things that you guys were asking.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. So hopefully we can open more communication lines in the future and take this further. I don't want to, so I'll probably wrap this up in about 5 minutes. So if anybody wants to say anything before we close.
Yo, could I have 5,000 dragon crystals?
So if anybody else wants to say anything before we close.
We
Yeah.
appreciate R6 Entertainment and everything they do. And if my opinions can help change the game for a few people to make their lives better, then so be it.
I mean,
Nine
if-
Everybody has a different way of playing a game, so everybody's input
Yeah.
matters, and AE takes input from a lot of different people, from what I've heard. So, like a
200
bunch of
plus
people,
100 bonus.
like wait, Clarion, the last time I was talking to you, you helped me out with something. I don't even remember, but I mean, I could look at it. But I mean, that's just another thing. Devs respond to players, and it's cool that some things get put in the games,
You know,
or like
King Vampire
audio
has a
or-
good point. He said from what I got from this is don't stress about farming best in slot because we can just lazy farm new best in slot. I mean that's how most MMORPGs work.
No.
every 3 months.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind every 3 months with all
No,
the
but
extra
still,
cosmetics
it's
and
I
stuff.
should like, but Ace, my point, Asa was able to get through the entirety of Sansi without farming Sansi gear.
I
yeah,
had
for
master
me, I
master and
legit
splitter, all right.
for Sansi, I was walking in Sansi with Wolfwing.
So-
I crafted the Worm Splitter.
So that's
And I
why the
cra-
expectation was probably sorry, keep it go ahead.
Oh, I had first walked in Sansi. I was using the Wolfwing armor.
Mm-hmm.
It was the easiest at the time because I didn't want to do Werewolf Arena, and Noxus is awesome, but still Wolfwing was the easiest because the drop rate and it was faster to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in with, and after that I went in, I crafted the newest gear. It was, I think, the first gear set you see they can get with. I think you get by collecting resources and all. You don't have to pay with.
Oh, the Bastion Buck set.
Yeah, the
The,
Bastion Bucks, and
Nomad.
then I craft a royal set afterwards.
Mhm.
Brought that, and I crafted Master Worm Splitter craft. Got that crafted. Then I crafted after I got that, I went to the water temple, Crocus Water Temple, got all the water, couldn't
Mhm.
get the chest piece, so I decided to use the Void Shark chest piece because it was easier to get than the chest piece at the water temple.
Yeah.
Then I got the crown. Then I got the cape, the mantle. Then I rocked with Zoom's bow.
That's kind of exactly what I did. I still have the master splitter though, and then
Yeah,
I
and
think I just
that
got
was
a
that's
better helm.
that's
from
a
the-
prime example of what it you can be doing, right? You
That's
played
pretty
through
much what I
content
did.
that is progression, that is planning, right? So
Yeah.
but you were able, my point is you were able to do that with the previous content's gear.
For
Just
a
remember
short
that.
time, it's like
Just
for
remember
legit
that.
For a short time.
Okay.
For about like one level and all, but for a short time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Also,
think I'm at
before we close,
175 power right now.
can you guys look at infusion runes and stuff again so that you know they are valuable in some way or some form when Nulgath comes out, you know, so we don't have a repeat
I was
of
assuming.
because I'm sure Fainal, you have almost every single set fully infused, right? You have enough, you grind enough to have every single set infused, but those infusion runes are now useless because you can't even extract them because everything is now converted to gold. You can't take them back out.
I can
I'm
bring this
assuming
up,
that's
but I
all
can't
being
make any
saved for
promises
the
on
next
something.
content.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
nice
not
if you can.
Clarion's thing.
Yeah,
I
please.
can bring this up, but I can't promise anything.
Hmm.
I'm my roles in the team. I'm kind of like a quest designer slash database entry,
Mhm.
but I'm also the community liaison, as it's been described to me.
Yes.
So I like I said, I can bring feedback. I can't make promises, but I really want to drive this home. The team does care about making you guys happy. Like we're not. There's I like I really want you guys to know that. Like I really I'm a long time player myself. Like you can look at my AQ Worlds account. I mean, I don't remember my original Adventure Quest login or my original
I
Jagged Table
don't.
login.
I legitimately remember mine. My account's gone, long gone.
But
Yeah,
I'm a long time member of the community. I've never really been active on social media before, but I really do care about the game and I care about what you guys think. So I am always listening. And if you guys do want to suggest something, you can run it by me. And I promise you, I pass everything along to the rest of the team.
Okay.
Like
Because
sorry.
yeah, and I was gonna say because I promise you, if I stick around for nothing else, I will stick around to drive these points home, and I will be very loud about it, in a respectful way, of course. Right. And if it is you tell me that you don't believe that this is the voice of the community, I will run as many polls as I need. I will get as many people to say, yo, this is what the issues are. If the issue is you don't believe what I'm saying. Right? And just for future clarification. So
No, like I get what you're saying, but I also have to make a point of reference that
Mhm.
maybe not everyone will agree with your point of views, with your opinions, like I just
Definitely.
presented in that on those tweets. So even
I,
though
I
I don't think that the points that you make are has to be dismissed because of that.
Mhm.
No, but there are other opinions, right? There are other points of view. Because for example, right now with the katana, I disagree with you, and I'm also a player. I'm
Mhm.
a tester, yeah, but
No,
I'm
no.
also a player. I've been a player before I became a tester and stuff like that.
Also, a lot of the points that I articulate aren't my own opinions because, like I said, I am a no lifer, but I speak for others who can't speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that's
You know,
good.
you're a
Yeah,
tester.
I get that.
Oh my god.
And
Exposed.
please, before we forget,
Kidding.
Clarion, please, I don't know if you're seeing me on stream right now, but please, no more insane RNG grind for weapon, please.
I like
No.
insane RNG.
No,
Well,
you're
cosmetic.
like the minimum. Okay, all right. So let's run a poll. Who wants insane RNG grind?
We need to define what we call an insane RNG grind.
All right, we can do that. Not right now
We
though,
need
because
Atego
it
to
is
do stuff. All right, that man's done everything in the game already. He
who.
needs stuff to do. Atego.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to find many RPGs, especially MMOs, that don't have an aspect of RNG to their like.
No. An aspect of RNG is fine, but Arctic said on himself on while he was on call with us on stream that RNG in AQ3D inherently is broken and he needs to take a look at it because it just doesn't work as it is intended, and players do get burnt out because of it. And you have to remember, not everybody's like Asa and is happy to go and grind. Some people really obsess about getting that next item and they burn themselves out trying. And my point is, look at the what is it, this little slashy pet, the one that you had to what that people started the world hopping train for, the silver hopping train for in cabin.
Dreadzard.
Yes, that the shiny
Shiny
dreadzard.
in the
Cabin.
Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah, the cabin in the woods.
I do
So,
have to mention though, like that
yes.
even though some players don't like that kind of farm, there are
Mhm.
some that are extremely passionate
Okay.
about that kind of
Hey,
farm.
So
train
where
jumping
where is the
covers
mid
is
ground?
fun, alright?
Where is the mid
So,
ground?
I
how
can't
about
hear
do
you
a
again.
lightning pad concept and have a lower rarity version with the craft?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. Like, sorry, what do you say?
I'll say where is
How
the
about do
mid
the light?
ground?
How about do a
Oh,
lower? How about do like the lightning pet with a lower rarity of a craft as craftable, but not as good as the higher rarity?
But that's Dagger's thing, so like that's
I
gone.
know.
No more of that.
I
Yeah.
still didn't hear what you
Now.
said. Like,
Yeah, sorry about that. So I was saying, where is the middle
what is
ground?
the middle ground.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
do you
I don't
give
know.
us
I don't know
crafts?
how to design that. I'm just making up that point that there are
Yeah.
people that are really passionate about
Mm-hmm.
those kind of grinds. Soulborn, Doom Reaper. I remember when those three came out
Uh-huh.
originally, people were so excited about them, including myself. I'm not a red hunter anymore. but I got the Soul Reaper. I got three Doom Reapers. I got the Soulborn Axe. So some people are red hunters, and there is like a passionate, really, really
Mhm.
diminutive minority of the player base that engage into that thing and are really passionate about it,
Mhm.
and they like it how it is.
I love
Maybe
that
as you as Kiva provided the compromise on the cloud, for example, I
Yeah.
think that was a
So
good piece of game
crafts.
design.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
people in
I
chat are
can
saying
work
the
with that.
same thing. They're saying, "Oh, yeah, should add another option to craft low drops." Yeah. So
Just lower
I
the
have
rarity
a
down.
go ahead, Helly.
okay. All right, you guys are okay. I'm gonna bring it up. It's doomed, but in Final Fantasy, when you're farming rare mounts, you're
Oh,
doing
jeez.
XD trials, right?
Mhm.
If you do the dungeon 100 times, it gives you mats every time you clear it. You get the mount. So you have a chance to get the mount, but if you're so unlucky that you don't get it after 100 tries, you get the mount.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would be happy for that.
That would be nice as a like Guardian Tower thing, because like you pay for that content, and if you spend thousands of hours on it, I mean, unlike them nerfing, the Nature Guardian Tower, if they would have left that scaled like it was,
I actually wish it
and
was
there
good
was a
because that was actually a very
guarantee,
cool fight.
I liked that fight before it was when it was scaled. But that's you're paying for that content, so having that from Final Fantasy. I know Dragon Raja has that. Genshin Impact has that for the pay to win stuff. But I mean, you pay for the story. You have a guaranteed rate. Maybe like how Lightning Cloud is. You can either farm it or you can craft it. But the farm version, you can craft the Halo.
Mhm.
I mean,
Nah.
something like that would be cool, like with the Nature Wisp, and then you get all the Nature Wisps together and craft like the Hue Nature Wisp that everybody wants.
Or the Bush of Hue or something like that.
Yeah, I
I
think.
like.
So I think
Yeah.
we could totally maybe. This isn't me guaranteeing things, right? But
Mhm.
I think it's totally possible that we could add some sort of system in place. Probably just like the monster is at least guaranteed to drop like some sort of material. Maybe not for every item, but for some items.
Mhm.
I mean, that's
tokens.
but like I said, I don't think that would work for every item.
No.
Yeah,
There's a bit of
as
a
I gave the example of Soulborn, it wouldn't work for them.
there's a big thrill of getting that like rare drop. As somebody who like
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
Diablo,
I'm
that's dopamine right in
Yeah,
my veins.
I'm not saying take away rare farming
I'm
at
in
all. That is not
Bloodborne.
what I'm saying. I'm just saying for questline stuff, for these things that we've been getting.
I agree for
Yeah.
quest lines, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
Like
I think.
like a good difficult quest line.
I'm not sure if you saw my graph earlier. Do I still have it up?
You have a graph.
I do actually, from your AQ3D.com website, and that's why I love these things, because which is why I think you guys don't put it up, because I can do
See,
this with
I
it.
like
There's an ad
how
playing right now for me.
All
I
right.
like how spaced out the long grinds, like the RNG
Mhm.
grinds.
One sec, Ace.
Oh, sorry.
I'm looking at the graph, right? So this is it's hard to see because right there we go.
Okay. Now, yeah.
So this is all of the updates that I cataloged that actually put stuff in the game. It didn't check quality of life updates and some shops that were just purely shops, right? And then I rank them on a scale of good, bad, or mixed, right, based on people's feedback for updates. And when you look at it, this is how it looks. This is how the graph looks. So we start here somewhere in January as having really good updates, and then it just goes down a bit, goes back up. We're pretty consistent, and then it tanks with RNG. So most of the RNG updates have been considered bad updates because they were quest related RNG grinds, not because they were rare items. Rare items are fine, and people are 100% okay with rare items being rare items, but questline based items should not.
I will
From
say
this,
that the cosmic cutter being put
Mhm.
as bad is a little bit
Mhm.
biased because I will say that it's mixed, not bad.
All right, and
I
I'm
would like
open
it
to
be
change
good,
that.
but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm open to change that to put it in mix. Sorry.
Maybe you didn't update it before this whole discussion.
Yeah, no, I did. I didn't. I
I'm
didn't.
being really
This.
unreasonable right here. I'm sorry.
I think it's back and forth because people mainly don't like it because of the stat increase, but people do like it because they're lazy.
I wouldn't call them lazy. Asa. I wouldn't go that far to
Or
call them
just or
lazy.
new players too. New
Yeah.
players who just hit 35 getting this new
hmm
gear, who see this, like say they're level 34 and they're like, oh, I can get to level 36 real quick and
Yeah.
get the best sword to get ready for the next thing.
So
I mean, how many players were playing 6 months ago that still play right now? 200 maybe. I'm assuming the 1,000 players a day, roughly. I mean, it's different. I don't know how many.
It's not.
Hard
We
to
don't have any
understand.
accurate things that check their player numbers. Only they know their player numbers, and they will not share that with us, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because people like me will
Yeah.
take it and run with it.
Ada.
Well, I mean, I can't run IRL
Take the
because I walk
draft.
with.
mean,
Yeah.
I'll quit doing that.
Isn't there AQ3D helper app that tells you how many people play and which
Yeah,
window?
but what I'm saying is not official. Also, Haizuko,
Oh,
so they can always come and
The
say that.
Discord bot only tells your people who are on each server. It doesn't say if there's
Mhm.
new players or
not
player
the Discord,
retention.
the app. There's an actual app.
Oh, there's another app. Oh,
There's an
that
app
one. I
on
thought that
Play
one was.
Store.
Yeah, we
That one
probably
was
shouldn't
the
talk
one
about
with
that.
Bach.
Oh, that's not allowed?
Oh,
Yeah,
if
that's not
Bach
allowed.
is doing it, then there's
I
another
don't
app.
even think if Bach is
And
a lot like if those are official things. So I'd prefer not to talk about those on stream.
oh yeah, true. But if even if they're accurate or not, it doesn't say if there's new, like say 800 of the 1,000 players or whatever, even if it's not accurate, how many of those are new, how many are old, whatever. There's no scale on player retention, so we can't really use that
Yeah,
as a
that
so.
player retention is a discussion for a whole nother day because that's a whole nother ballpark.
Yeah, people come and go, like the
hmm
last bit of stuff that happened, a lot of people left.
hmm So again, we can't look at things in a vacuum. Issues are not isolated. Everything on some level is interconnected. I mean, yes, there are people that just log in and play the game and have fun, but then there are also people that are connected with you that are your community. So again, it's always about finding that middle ground.
Yeah, I play with my guild.
Yo,
Same
Fainal,
here.
can I rejoin Tower Guild?
No.
Hey, Helly,
Oh.
you're in our guild now.
Bruh, Night Guild is so boring. All you guys do is PvP.
Hey,
All
I
we do
am
is just
on
do
to
story
farm
and
solo. All
farm
right,
rare pets and all that.
I help
Okay.
the
All right,
guildmates who ask for help and
all right,
farm all the ridiculous stuff that he puts out every few
Okay,
weeks.
lag got in.
yeah,
Pass this down.
yeah. So let me just ask once again because lag does have to be up at 4:30 a.m. It is 1:20 a.m.
Ouch. Oh
Um,
no.
yeah.
There you go,
So
Red Bull and a sugar cookie.
all right, so we'll do one last pass around the table for anybody who has something to say. We will end with Clarion. We will start with Kiba.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my question is, actually, let's pass on the lag. I don't want to waste people's time.
All
Can you
right.
take the chair?
So Zuko, you have anything to say?
Negative. Just here to listen.
All right. Uh, Sir Fainal, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having both of us, Clarion and I. Sorry if I tag along, but I wanted to back up Clarion because I understand a lot
Mm-hmm.
of what he wanted to say. We have been talking about this before, prior to this conversation, because we internally we also provide him with feedback from like as the tester team. Like we're also
Mm-hmm.
players, so we also give him expectations how the community is gonna react. Maybe they will like this, maybe they will not like this, and he tried his best. I can assure you that he tries to implement some of the stuff
Uh,
that we gave him because he I work with him
Mm-hmm.
and he tries that and yeah that's pretty much it. Thank you for the space.
No problem.
Vampire I gotta say, so, I gotta reply back to Weirpar. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
We do not want a optional subsystem in Adventure Quest 3D. We do not.
Yeah, that's moving into pay to win territory, and I mean, I'd appreciate a battle pass, but nothing pay to win. All right. Helly, you want to say anything before we close?
Thank you guys for stopping by and chatting with us. I know it's hard. I know I have very bad takes, and I know that could cause trouble in the workplace. But I do understand where you guys are coming from with this type of stuff. And while I don't necessarily agree with the mean or the production, I do agree with the means. I do think we need to progress. And I am happy we're finally getting something that isn't from Sansi. I just wish it was overall more challenging and took more time. But that's just me.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, you have anything you want to say? Well, I mean, you said a lot, and you said you don't stop talking. Maybe I shouldn't let you say anything. I'm kidding. So, are you good, Asa, or
I don't think he's here.
ah? All right. So, Clarion, you want to have any final words?
Yeah, sure. I want to appreciate you guys letting me on. I really appreciate the discussion. I mean, I felt it was pretty good.
Mhm.
I'm always open on Twitter and Discord if you guys have questions. I try to answer them as soon as possible.
All right. Well, thank you guys for everything, and thank you guys so much in chat for all of your feedback, because this wouldn't have been possible without you, the community. Because, like I said, all of your views matter. Everybody matters. So it doesn't matter whether I agree with it or not. It is still valid opinions, right? I don't have all the answers. I'm 100% open to being wrong, but I really like the direction that this discussion started to take, and I hope that we can have more in future. So,
And
I
if
mean,
people ever, sorry,
no, go ahead.
if people ever want to ask my input, you're welcome to ask. I've been becoming back in 2017. I haven't played that much since I started 2019, but that's where I mostly started in. So if you have any questions from that time era and now, you can.
Right, that's Kiba the Barbarian. Uh, Kiba promoting on my stream. What? Kidding,
I'm not
kidding.
promoting.
I'm
I didn't
kidding.
promote.
I'm
You promoted
kidding. Yeah. Oh, anyways, uh, yeah, happy that we had this discussion and looking forward to more. And you will be hearing from me, and this will be available on YouTube. So until next time, uh,
Okay.
be happy, stay
Peace.
safe, and yeah, meow.
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.